The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. just 1 week ago, we started off the 2026 area iRacing season with the preseason clash. What a race it was as Dylan Alt parked himself in victory lane, getting the $100 prize. But now the serious disc cranks in and a whole bunch of drivers look for their famed starting spot in the 8th annual Area 500. Welcome one, welcome all to PTR TV, your exclusive home for Area iRacing in 2026 as we present the Area 500 qualifying night here at the Daytona International Speedway. We are going to have the qualifiers, single car qualifying, and the duels here to set the starting grid and find who is coming and who is going home from next week's race. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth, and I do, of course, have Brad Dalton and Hunter Sleppy to help out with qualifying night. Gonna be a big night, guys. I think we have 48, 49 cars strong here. Single car qualifying, and then we got two 30-lap duels. Brad, what you looking forward to tonight?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to right now. It's just the fact that Area is back. I know I said it last week, but I'm going to say it because it feels more official here that we are back, we are going, we are done, we are dusted. Lucky Ducks is in the YouTube chat being crazy as always, and I'm just ready to have a good time and see how this goes here as the first car is rolling out on track. Hunter, I tell you what, man, it's been a long off season. How you feeling?
It has been a long off season. I'm feeling pretty well rested at the moment. I'm looking forward to another season of area competition. Not only the Cup, but we have the trucks and the Pro Series on PTR TV all season long. And we're kicking it off right now with Daytona with Area 500 qualifying. There will be some drivers who will not make the field. There's 49 cars slated to qualify tonight, but only 43 of them will make it to the show. So we will have some go or go homers that'll have to try and race their way into the 30-lap duels, whether that be the first duel or the second duel. It depends on where they qualify. And I think the first car up right now got some rookies in the field going up. Timmy Pacioli in the number 86.
Yeah, that number 86. And correct me if I'm wrong, single lap qualifying, I do believe, Hunter. You would be the professional on the format, so that outlap going to be super important. We have kind of updated some graphics package stuff here to kind of give a little bit more detail on how these drivers will run their lap. But Timmy Pacioli, first one out. Let's take a look at the weather. I don't know if that's going to have any inkling as to what today's session offers. 69 degrees, both track and air. 8 o'clock. I'm not sure if that will go down at all. Sometimes first car is good, sometimes first car is bad. But let's see what happens to Mr. Timmy Pacioli.
You know, I'm going to say it. It has to really stink to be the first guy out on track. I'm not going to lie. If I was one Mr. Timmy Pacioli, I'd be doggone nervous because I don't know that I'd want to be the first car out on track. The only thing that I think can be worse than the first car out on track is the second car out on track.
A 51.3 for Timmy there, so that'll be the temporary bar. There is the kind of the nuances of this. They will send each car out individually. If you get in your car before you are prompted to, you forfeit your spot. So very important. You follow the administrative rules. Looks as so that Zachary Nerney is going to roll off, and I know he just underwent some storms, so luckily his electricity turned on, allowing him to be here. Brett, I know you were saying that there was a little bit of nervousness in that camp.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I say this without saying this here. Liam Sheen putting his lap through right now. So as cars pass the pit lane, it looks like they're releasing the next one to go here. Race control keeping things nice and smooth and going here. And yeah, I think it's no secret. Me and Nerney talk a lot. I'll be Nerney's spotter for truck on Thursday nights when I'm able to make it there. But yeah, he was saying that a bunch of really severe storms that hit my area overnight moved their way through. I know, Corey, you had your run, and then we got like 4 inches of snow today for no reason. So yeah, I know if you're anywhere in the basically eastern half of the U.S., it's been a wild weather the past couple of days. It was 70 degrees last night. And Hunter, I don't know where you're at, but we went from 70 to 30 out of nowhere.
Well, we're kind of in the 50s right now, but we're getting some decent showers, and it's actually going to be 39 within the next couple of days. So, yeah, I love Mother Nature being bipolar as always, as we've got more drivers that are slated to put down some times on the board. You mentioned Zachary Nerney. I think Zachary Carr is the next car up slated on our qualifying sheet. Basically, all the rookies will be going out first, and there are a lot of rookies from what I'm seeing on this list.
Yeah, looking through the lineup here, looks like we have at least 20 of them, and that is not accounting for the fact that they are rookies in the sim racing world. Of course, it's just saying that they are rookies in the area division, and there goes Nerney, 3/100ths off of your whole time there. But again, the most important part is going to be how you race in the duels. The higher you finish here, the better you will start, and we know how track position is. But Zach Carr looks like his lap time just rolling off here. You can see that predicted time there, a new feature we have implemented. And well, that feature is not accurate. Let's go change that over. And this lap, polling as it stands right now off turn number 2.
Yeah, so far looking like he's going to be up on time. That will fluctuate as they go through, though, and I'm really curious to see how it fluctuates out of 4. I think that's going to be really where to watch, and you'll notice here some of the guys dropping to the apron on the front stretch. And Hunter, I know apron cuts are allowed. I have opinions on apron cuts, but that's a me issue. What's your opinion on it? I'll let you get yelled at.
Oh, I think for qualifying it's fine as long as it's legal and they're not touching the grass. Then I think it's okay. As Carr gonna put up a 50.144, good enough for second quick. And again, the top 2 spots, whether you're an open driver or not, because it has happened in the past. If you're an open car and you're inside the top 2 positions, you're automatically locked into the Area 500, and then that makes the open car field to make the Area 500 that much smaller and the margin for error that much shorter. AJ Stravato, another rookie coming through the ranks, going to be putting down a lap time, trying to see where I had something lined up, but I must have lost it somewhere.
Well, he's coming through 3 and 4 here. We don't have an estimate on his lap time, but we'll see where he comes through on the lineup. A very tight lineup here thus far. 3/100ths of a second for our first 3 drivers here. Rocky Boyd going to be next on tap. Let's see what Stravato pulls off. There's what? Okay, that our back-end data was a little bit off because it said he was in the 44s, which was not accurate at all. But here comes Rocky Boyd on his outlap.
Rocky Boyd coming through. He'll get his lap going as the car who was ahead of him there, AJ Stravato, pulls into the backstretch. And, you know, one of the cool things about solo qualifying, no draft, nothing to really help you out. It is truly just about, well, how well can you run flat out here at Daytona as they go along here. And we'll kind of have some fun through this night, talk to some different drivers, get some ideas. I know we've got some drivers that can kind of jump up when they're ready to go through. I'm sure drivers are going to be in and out of YouTube chat as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on the back end here and really just see if drivers give us any inkling into, well, how wild qualifying gets.
Indeed, as Rocky Boyd.
Oh, where'd you go, bro?
He's so fast, he broke time. He's coming off turn 4. Again, Rocky Boyd in the 16 car.
Looking pretty good.
Looking to put down a pole time.
Let's, there we go.
Not quite.
P2. His connection issues there kind of threw things off a little bit. Here's Van Drugman. That's a name I do recognize from last season. So he will see what he can muster. Bright orange Camry there. LVV Racing, so that'll be, I'm sure there was a lot of team swapping last season, so we'll have to get used to that here with what these drivers will be racing for in 2026. Just off the opening get-go in turns 1 and 2. Looks like about midway through our 5 or 6 drivers that have run thus far, so we'll see what Van can do. Getting about 49 cars strong we are expecting here today.
And yeah, you did mention there are a lot of new teams in the Cup Series. There are 4 new teams, actually. We got Nexus Esports, which we just saw AJ Stravado go down qualifying lap 4. They replaced Solid Rock Performance. LVV Racing, Van Drugman's team, currently replacing Powerhouse. And then we just saw Rocky Boyd, who are looking pretty stacked. They got Dylan Alt this season. They were formerly known as Bowie Silver Sim Racing. And then Swan Motorsports, we haven't seen them yet, but they replaced Triforce Racing. So we got 4 new teams, and we'll see their drivers put down the time as we go through. And Christian Nabor, I think this is the first one so far that is a reserve driver that's putting down a qualifying time. He's the reserve driver for Swan Motorsports. We've got Frankie Barroso, Kwame Scott, Hayden Swank, others as well, listed as a reserve driver. So for what that means, if for some reason a certain driver on the team cannot make it, they can tap into their reserve driver and race for that race, because the top 2 drivers that finish in said race for the team count towards the team owner standings, and that's pivotal because you do not want to be last in the team owner's standings. Otherwise, the team will lose said charters, and then we'll go into this whole saga over and over again. But Christian Nabor in the 55 looking to put down a pretty good time, and again, he is an open car, so trying to race his way into the Area 500.
Let's see what he can muster off of turn number 4. Looking for about a 5th place lap as it stands. Where will it muster on the board? And it'll be 5th exactly with a 50.16 for DeBoer. Now John Forbes Jr. will be next here for our drivers to roll off. That is a name that I do remember from last year as well. So I think Hunter, I'm assuming rookie, just for those who may be new to area. Rookie may indicate new to the Cup Series, because certainly we have seen some of these drivers in the lower divisions of area last year.
That is absolutely correct, but one driver in here who is not considered a rookie, actually considered somewhat of a... what is the proper term for it? I had it on the top of my head, but I must have lost it somewhere. Anyway, we've got Connor Horn joining us in the booth. Connor, good to see you as always. You in 609, looking stacked, looking to defend your Area 500 title from a season ago. Will it be you this time hoisting the Area 500 trophy?
If I could find my pit stall this season, I hope so. It's the only reason I finished 40th last season, because I missed my stall, and then I went 2 down and went green. But, Jeremy Adam and Bailey Turner played it perfectly. Don't have Bailey back this season because he's too busy with work and life. But hope for the best. I wish he got a better run in the shootout last week. But, this type of racing, anything can happen. But should be a fun year. Starting it off tonight, I've never really care that much for qualifying. It's really just about getting the reserve driver in, and I made Jake Fisher my reserve driver literally I think an hour ago, but he's going to run a limited schedule. We're going to try our best to get him in the show tonight, but I'm excited for a new season. Didn't really have a lot of fortune go my way last season, and the field's getting tougher and tougher, so it gets harder to get harder to stay at the front. But I think me and Adam are going to be a pretty big force. We brought Zachary Carr back. I think whenever he puts his mind towards something, he's really good at it, so I'm excited to see what he can do. And Jeremy, he's always a self-proclaimed plate goat. He was 1,000th away from winning it last season, but yeah, should be a pretty fun season. I'm also excited I got to be interviewed first. Travis thought it was going to go by alphabetical order, and I told him he was wrong, so I'm glad I could prove Travis wrong. It's the first time I proved him wrong this season. I hope to prove him wrong a lot more this season. I love doing that.
Well, who wouldn't love doing that? You did mention that you've got some new faces on your team. You got Zachary Carr tapping in, and then you said as recently as an hour ago, Jake Fisher for the reserve driver. What kind of nuance does that bring to the team heading into this season? Because Zachary Carr, he was a pretty decent driver in the Pro Series, but we'll have to see what he does in the Cup side of things. And then also one more thing, Jeremy Miller, you mentioned the plate goat. He knows how to put himself in a good spot at Daytona and Talladega. Is there any chance that he can, he's got some hunger left in him after finishing 1/1000th shy of an Area 500 championship?
he's more hungry than ever. I don't think it deterred him one bit. He was obviously upset, but I mean, when it comes to super speedways, you want a guy that'll take you to the front, or you want to take them to the front, so you can work with them. I mean, Jeremy's the guy. He knows how to push better than anyone else. He is aggressive, but I mean, that's how you got to get to the front, especially with this package. How tough it is to make a run in these next gen cars, and even the Pro Series cars and the trucks. I mean, he's good in those too, and you want someone to go to the front with, he's the guy, and he just came up that little bit short last season. But I think, if we can get the same type of setup that we had last season with three or more cars at the front to be able to control the field, I think Jeremy's going to be the one who takes it this season. I mean, he's not going to be denied by that much, that's for sure, but it should be fun to see what he can do. And Jake's probably not going to run too many races. He's on a limited schedule, but we know he's running tonight. Hopefully we can get him into the show. There's going to be, probably 6 or 7 cars going home. So, it's just a matter of trying to work with him and get him to the front so he doesn't have to worry about being in the thick of it or missing a race, because it's the Area 500, everyone wants to win it, and I know Jake wants a shot at that as well. And if we could get 5 cars together for this race, it'd be pretty huge. So I'm pretty optimistic. We worked really well together here at Daytona last season, and even to Talladega in a few months' time. I think our team's going to be pretty strong everywhere, not just the super speedways, but I think with the guys we got, it's going to be a pretty good season for us, and I think we'll be near the top for the team title.
Alrighty, well, best of luck to you in 609 Motorsports on the Season 8 area run, not only in Cup, but also Truck and Pro Series, I do believe.
Yes, we're going for 3 in a row in those series as well. We got some new faces that we'll announce on Twitter on the 609 Motorsports, like X. I don't like calling it X, but you know what I mean. X609 Motorsports. We're going to reveal some drivers on Tuesday and Thursday. Also got new sponsorship. We've got old sponsorship. Matt Liveries, Matthew Tombalera are still painting our paint schemes. They're going to look pretty sick this season. I'm pretty excited. We obviously, with Matt, Simrat Market, also Vay Lip Balms jumped on. AmericanFishes.com will be on our Cup Series cars this season. Also have New York Pizza Department based in Corona, California, joining, putting, they're going to be on some of our cars and trucks in the other series this season, as Jake Fisher's on track. I hope he runs well. And Managed Mobile Fleet Maintenance, they'll be on one of our trucks and cars this season. So still looking for sponsorship, but this is the most support this team's had really ever. So I'm really excited for what this season's got to come.
Alrighty, best of luck to you in 609 for Season 8.
Thank you, Hunter.
All right, we did have some big names qualify there. Sebastian Marin thought he was going to run a lot faster than he did, but only down in the 10th spot. Drew Jua not present here in the race, so no lap turn for him. So that will, unless he gets in, likely be a DNS, unless he can get in by the duels, I imagine. But David Brown currently on the racetrack in that 83 car. And I'll tell you, boys, from what I'm seeing on our live tracker, they seem to be gaining a lot of time on the first half of the track, but through 3 and 4, that is where that gap tends to go back the other way.
I said it earlier, and I'm kind of going to kick myself for it. I said that qualifying first was the worst position to be in. I'm starting to think that maybe qualifying first was the best decision to have, and I don't know. Someone can clue me into this somewhere, because I never claimed to be the genius at this, but why is it that qualifying first would be the best right now? Like, what is it that's going through as we see David Brown? I mean, there's a 131. How is Timmy Pacioli, who qualified first, currently at the top? Nobody's getting past him.
Well, let's take a look at the weather just to make sure nothing's changed there. No, it has stayed. I think we're actually in static weather because the time has elapsed. So they have kept this as even of a playing field as possible. So we can't even say that it's any of the Florida weather causing this. It's just, I suppose, luck of the draw. And I mean, track heat doesn't really matter too much here, Hunter. So who's to say?
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. And you mentioned that we've had some guys go out there. I'm pretty shocked Sebastian Marin qualified where he did. But then again, it's an open playing field, if you will. A lot of guys, our specialty racing on iRacing is the super speedway, whether that's Daytona or Talladega. So this is their bread and butter for some of these guys. Gavin Rogers, the number 75, going out and trying to put down a pretty good time. It's up there with Pole. Not sure where it's going to finish up.
See, coming to the stripe, estimating at about a 130, but it's going to be a 139. That's going to be P7 for Gavin. Only 9/1000ths of a second separating the top 7 right now. And as we do know in the simulator, and if you don't know, well, now you know, iRacing does measure down into the 10,000s. Even though it's not visual, they do measure it. So when you see ties such as 5 and 6 there, Drugman and Talmadge, they did measure into the 10,000s to differentiate those.
I forget that's a thing sometimes because it very much just shows the difference in things. And again, it's just part of the fun of sim racing for how close we can get in things and really get that battle through. So watching more cars roll out here and go as we have Nico Servideo out on track trying to find his way through. His predicted time right now would put him back around P14 of all the cars that have ran, and we'll see, does he improve more time out of 4 down onto the apron? He's going to go take advantage of that, and let's see, he's a 184. That will put him P15 on the board right now.
That is Nico Servideo, and let's see who's going to be next. We got Jacob Herbert's going to be next on the track, that number 80 car.
Did mention Jacob Herbert's. He is it's another rookie coming through the ranks, and he is a part of the believe he is a part of I just had it on here.
LVV
he's
Racing?
On a team. Really good. No, he's on Boyd Motorsports.
Hey,
and
the car is lying to us. There must be some satellite team. Says LVV Racing right underneath the Boyd's Automotive. I feel lied to. I feel cheated.
Well,
Rocky, explain it.
Well, Jacob did say that something happened over the last hour, so it could be anything. But yes, please explain, Rocky.
Yeah, we got a technical alliance with LVV Racing. If you look at the nose piece, you see that nice-looking BM logo on the front that stands for Boyd Motorsports. But, yeah, we got an alliance with the LVV Racing guys for this year. So we got the brand represented on the side of the car.
I like it. I like it. Rocky, I'm going to ask you a question here. As a team owner, you're looking at all of these rookies and open drivers trying to come through, and some of them are yours, some of them aren't yours, but how, we had a long off season. How are you feeling about where Area's at going into Season 8? How are you feeling about your team going into Season 8 here?
Yeah, I'm really excited about my group specifically. We got 3 rookies on the team, and then Dylan Alt kind of is the leader, veteran on our group, and I think we put together a pretty good group of guys. We got some fast Chevy Camaros getting ready to hit the track, and I'm excited about the league. It's got good turnout tonight, and hope it keeps up throughout the season.
I want to know, predict it now, who gets pole?
I mean, I wouldn't have said Timmy starting qualifying, but if David L. Brown couldn't beat that lap, I don't know who out here has a shot at it. Maybe Seth Knoll. Maybe the last Boyd Motorsport car to go, Dylan Alt, can put out a lap that'll get him to the top. But, yeah, there's still some good cars to go, so anything can happen. But Timmy set a pretty good lap to start.
Well, Rocky, man, I grabbed you over Travis Beckner just because I thought it would be funny because I think Beckner thought he was going to be first to be interviewed, so I thought I'd make him third. So, Rocky, appreciate you stopping in, man. Good luck tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me.
And that was just Joseph Causey, which... There, Brad, that's a name we remember from back at our PTR TV days from another league we covered about a year and a half ago. So drivers moving up here in the iRacing League hierarchy, if you will, as Douglas Newbigging. That's going to be a fun name to say all year. Now let's see what he could muster. That number 71 car kind of gives me shades of a William Byron meets a Jeff Gordon. Tiltify Camaro with, I think, Aftermark Coffee on the hood of that car. If there's a sponsor in this league, I will patron. It would be a coffee sponsor.
Yeah, Douglas Newbigging, longtime area driver. He's got 68 Cup starts throughout his tenure in the area, just in the Cup side of things. Took Season 7 off. Couldn't quite race it. Didn't have a lot of free time. He's got free time now. Part of the Lucky Duck stable, the long-running Lucky Duck Motorsports group, with champion Michael Curhan returning, as well as some new drivers in John Forbes Jr. and Josh Cottle. And Douglas Newbigging puts up the 8th fastest time. Welcome back, Douglas.
Numbers by Joe. Logan Helton currently on the track. I think that is our last scheduled rookie. And I think, debatably, guys, after him, we have the most important entry on our qualifying lineup next. It's going to be the man, the myth, the legend, the boss, Jacob Bell. But that, not to shade Logan Helton. Let's see what he can muster.
Sometimes I just like listening to these cars. I don't know about you all, but every once in a while, I'm pretty okay just hearing how the cars go as they go through. Got a poll up in YouTube chat here for everyone. Will the time of Timmy Pacioli of a 50.130 stand?
Well, let's ask him right here. Brad just put a poll up, Timmy. Is your poll time going to stand? Where are you voting?
I already voted, and it's a yes. All right. I was joking around. I was like, what if I just stunk up the show as the first car to go out?
Logan Helton there, P5, only 1,000 off your time, gave you a run for the money.
Yeah, I was like, what if I stink up the show and just go out there as the first car and just put down the quickest lap that no one beats the whole night? That'd be kind of funny.
Well, what's on tap? Obviously, last year, I know the Truck Series, I think you got yourself maybe one win last year or something on those lines when we covered you, but bad luck was always kind of on your shoulder last year. What are you going to do to have those good auras help you out here in 2026?
Well, I did get a win last year. I won Dover in the Truck Series. It was definitely a feast or famine type season, so we either finished top 5 or wrecked the truck trying. Until the playoffs started, I didn't run my best in the playoffs last year, so I think we ended up 5th or 6th in the championship.
Well, we got to call this. This is the boss's lap, so if we don't call this, we're probably going to lose our contract here. Jacob Bell crossing the stripe, a 184. That is going to be P20, and that is going to be the second to last of the drivers who have run.
I guess I beat the boss. Well, a lot of us beat the boss tonight, I guess. But
as we'll let you get back to your team and kind of watch the end of this, but any final words or shout-outs you want to give for what could be a pole run based on what you've done halfway through?
Well, yeah, fingers crossed we stay up there. But just want to shout out Coast to Coast, What's on Tap, Lockdown, PrestonPartis.com, Morass Live. Also, Webflix. It is it's streaming on Grungus, so just make sure you guys check that out. I'll be in the Pro Series this year, so if you guys are broadcasting the Pro Series, that's going to be my main gig. But I'm going to run a couple cup races here and there and see what we can do.
Well, let's see. I'm just going to give you a little bad news there. Our predicted time tracker has Brad Slaughter ahead of you, coming off coming off turn 4. Oh, he lost it in the tri-oval there. I think it's going to be right on the money. Who's going to get it? A 142. Timer had it to his advantage, but you hang on by the skin of your teeth, Timmy. Go get it, bud.
I will. I'm going to do my best just sitting here.
So I guess we will have to... I guess our running tab now, boys, is we're going to have to add about 100th to whatever that tracker tends to be, and that will kind of put us in a semi-accurate spot as Ryan Swan and the number 20 Blue Tip Pool Builders. Isn't that Jacob's affiliate company of some sort that we now learned about?
Yes indeed. They are moving up in the ranks of Area iRacing. They're becoming a part of the Swan Motorsports Group. Ryan Swan, usually a contender on these super speedways, as well as Brad Slaughter. Although Slaughter is on his own team, so might be a little conflict there between the two. Who knows? But Ryan typically puts on a good show. Maybe not in the Cup car, but he's won before in the Pro Series and the Truck Series at this style of racing. So we'll see what the 20 puts up. 50.15, good enough for 15th. And you know what? I think it's about time we talk to Travis Beckner, because he's a 2-time Area 500 champ, and he's looking to make it a 3-time Area 500 champ, hopefully after Season 8. Travis, welcome to the booth. How's everything going?
Oh, it's going good. Definitely looking forward to Season 8 here. Like you said, going for my 3rd Area 500. just need to have a good qualifying tonight, have good dual performance, get myself set up for Monday night next week.
Indeed, and you mentioned you're on Slaughter. Well, I mentioned you're on Slaughter Sim Racing. You got Brad, David, and Bryce. That being Brad Slaughter, David Weiser, Bryce Senesac. And I know Brad's pretty good at the super speedway style racing. Bryce has actually won a duel over the past couple of seasons. But with your experience just in this race alone, what can you tell for the guys? Because I just realized there's 2 Area 500 winning drivers on your team. That's you and Brad. So you guys have won 3 out of the 7 Area 500. So what can your experience, both you and Brad, give to David and Bryce to try and put them over the edge and maybe get a team win for the Area 500?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I just go out there, drive fast, turn left, and at the end of it, I hope I'm in the front. So just got to go out there, hope you don't get involved in the wrecks. Me personally, I try my best to stay in the front of the field and hope for all the chaos to happen behind me.
Indeed, and you've actually won a dual race yourself here back in Season 3, and good stat you'll love, you're the only driver to win a dual race and win the Area 500 in the same speed weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that is a pretty good stat if I were to say so myself. The bad thing about that was quite a bad time for Florida at that time. We had Hurricane Ian coming through, but, we were able to get some things together, raced at my aunt's house, and then came back that following Monday and kicked some butt and won my first ever Cup Series race for the Area 500.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you get dialed in for qualifying. Hopefully you have a good run and a good Season 8 as a whole.
Thank you.
That was Travis Beckner, who we'll hear about a lot this season, of course, with the Hendry County Motorsports Park that will come up in due course there. But again, our cameras here today, Whiplash Sim Cam. So if you like what you see, check them out on Facebook. Andrew Cardinale does some good work, gives you some of these great angles that we are enjoying here thus far. But currently on track, number 69, the Alaskan Assassin, Justin Anasogek. Thus far, looks like that. Again, our predicted timer is not the most perfect science in the world, but it does, within 100th, give us a pretty good indication of where it stands. Right now, again, through 3 and 4, not sure what it is. You can see a little bit off the bottom by about a foot or two, but at Daytona, that will cost you 100th, lining up to be maybe around 10th, 11th or so, perhaps closer to 13th, actually. Let's see at the stripe. Justin will put that thing P8, so actually a little bit ahead of the tracker right there.
Yeah, he knows a thing or two about racing well at a super speedway. He's won in the Pro Series at this track, I believe, a few seasons ago. But looking at Bryce Senesac in the 09, Season 6, big season for Bryce. He pulled through the chaos on the last lap to win his second duel. And as a whole, Bryce is looking to get off on the right foot. They say green is bad luck on a race car, but don't tell Bryce that. He's just looking to finish some races. Average finish was 23rd last season for Bryce. He is new to Slaughter Sim Racing. Him and Travis Beckner, both the new guys on the block for that team. So we'll see what the 09 can do. Looking like he's got a pretty good qualifying time at the moment.
Yeah, looks as so. Well, again, lost about 2 100ths there through 3 and 4, so not sure what it is on that end of the speedway, but now this lap looking to be outside of the top 15 for Senesac. Let's see what it musters at the stripe, a 153. That'll put him down in the 18th spot, so a little bit of work to do he'll have in the duels, but I have faith in him that he will be able to accomplish it. Brett Pacari there. He's currently on the racetrack, and who's that? Princess Peach on the hood. Princess Daisy, pardon me, Mario. Sorry, I got it wrong.
Yeah, he's running back from a season ago where he made his area debut as a rookie over on the Area Cup side of things, and now he's got a little more experience under his belt, and he's got a pretty good time so far going through 1 and 2 and down the back, really picking up time down the backstretch. But you mentioned it earlier, 3 and 4, for some reason, these guys just can't seem to grasp what Timmy Pacioli did.
Let's see what it is here. How close to the bottom can he run? Because we've seen, again, no one really running right on the yellow. They're getting, actually, I'd say he's running lower than most have been there, but the timer going down in the bad way. So this should be outside of the top 15, I would estimate here at the stripe. Looks like we're going to have a 149. Where will that put him? P18 there for Mr. Brett.
And you know what? It really wasn't a bad time, but just the margin between the field. I mean, look at the top 10 in itself. They're separated by less than 10 one-thousandths of a second. It's just absurd. The margin for error is so slim when it comes to qualifying at Daytona.
Absolutely, 1/1000th, and again, even 1/10,000th there. But you're joining us. Of course, we are here for single car qualifying. About 48 cars here in line to qualify for next week's Area 500 right here on PTR TV, as well as the Florida State Builders Pro Series and the Truck Series will all be live here at the World Center of Racing. But after this, we'll have two 30-lap dual races, which will further cement the lineup and let you know who's coming and who's going here. But coming off turn number 4, Max Service, a name that I certainly have not seen in area, so we'll see what he can do. Looks like right around 10th to 15th. Go right on the flat. What will Max accomplish? P11.
Well, that's some good service there from Max Service going through. Yeah, I had to make that joke. Sorry, not sorry. Tyler Nichols, next car coming through here on qualifying, as we've gotten through a good chunk of our cars so far. 29 cars of our 49. I've already forgotten the number because, well, there we go. Going through and around, see how qualifying goes. We've had one driver not qualify so far. Everyone's working their way through. This is looking the best so far for taking out Timmy Pacioli's time. Coming off a 2, and it's a 50.112. Now it's down the backstretch, losing a little bit of time here. We'll see if able to close this up a little bit more for Tyler Nichols. Yeah, I don't know what it is about turn 4, but it seems like coming out of 4, that's where everyone's losing the time.
Let's see what it is here. As again, it's basically a dead guarantee. You're going to lose 100th through 3 and 4, but again, this looks like it'll be right around the 16th, 17th spot, gained a little bit by cutting the tri-oval, and that will head down again to that 18th spot. That's kind of seeming to be where most of these drivers have been. Now we kind of go into some names that we are very familiar with. David Weishart there, Harry's Tap House and Kitchen, number 29 car, looking sporty.
Big fan of this paint scheme is David Weishart. Loves the colors and loves that it stands out on the racetrack, especially under the lights here at Daytona. Cup champ from Season 1, the inaugural Area Cup Series champion. Looking to return to that roots. Hopefully Season 8 is the one for David Weishart. And the number 29. He's got a pretty good lap again going down the back, about 2/10 in the green at the moment, but can he get through 3 and 4? A-okay.
I would just like to point out, about 2017, I beat him at Martinsville in a league ARCA race. Just got to point it out. I beat him once in my life, so never will happen again, but I do have to just brag about that one moment back in the Rivalry Racing League. But back here off turn number 4, again, sporting right outside the top 10, actually got through the quad oval, the tri-oval pretty well. 131 P2, 1/1000th off. Timmy just saved it by a whisker.
It's currently 50-50 in YouTube chat for if Timmy's time is going to stand. Bringing in another driver here to see what happens as Frankie Barroso comes through. Let's talk to Van Drugman here for a second. Currently sitting P7 with a 51.36. Van, how's it going there? How are you feeling about LVV racing here this season? Another one of our mini rookies here in the league.
Man, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm excited. I've been waiting for months trying to scrap together an area ride because I knew how good this league was. I saw it on the IK Player YouTube channel last year. I wanted to race this league so bad. Now I'm here. I'm finally in the moment. It is better than I expected. Y'all take this very seriously, and I love it. I'm just ready for the green flag for the duels, and then later Area 500.
And Van, I just got to hop in for a second. Where do we know you from? Because your name rings a bell here on PTR TV.
So y'all did the y'all were on the IDQ Player YouTube channel last year for the Area Cup Series, and during the midst of the all season, they had like the e-ticket titles the e-ticket races at both Lamont and Darlington. I won both of them, back to back, right in the midst of like the Area 500 and like Watkins Glen and stuff like that. You also could have remembered me from last season. I ran a little bit of Area Pro.
Okay, yep, that must have been what it was.
There it is.
Was solid, but I also wanted to brag a little bit, so I'm sorry.
Hey,
But-
it's your time in the sun, man. Well, under the lights, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make every moment count. You only get one first cup start. Make the interview memorable, and if you wreck cool.
Well, we'd prefer not the second, but if it happens, it happens, I suppose.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens.
It's Daytona. I feel like the wreck's going to be cool. It has to be. Welcome to Daytona. So, Van, I'm going to ask you the $1 million question here since we're 50-50 on YouTube chat. Well, it's 53-47. It might as well be 50-50. We're at 17 votes. Will Timmy Pacioli's time stand? If not, who's taking the time?
Man, I'm rolling with him. I was talking to him in the waiting room chat, and I'm pulling for him because I think it's so cool. He's the first car to go out there, and he's going to get the pole. But since there's no LVV cars running anymore, then I guess I'm rooting for him. I'm going to go Timmy Pacioli for this one.
All right. Well, Van, appreciate you stopping in, man. Good luck. Looks like right now your time's sitting P7. We'll see how it stands through the rest of qualifying.
All right. Appreciate it, man. See you.
All right. Timmy Pacioli's becoming a fan favorite round one. Hunter, I don't know if I would have predicted that, but you know what? I like Pacioli too. So, fan favorite, first car out. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it might be over because Seth Berger's got a pretty good time going into 3 and 4. He was three tenths quicker going through 3 and 4. We'll see if the 77 can do it for Berger Arts Motorsports.
This by far, I mean, even accounting for the margin of error in our ticker here, this is certainly the best we've seen at the stripe of 158. We got baited on that one. Not even close, but the drama was fun.
Where did he lose that much time from?
I think that might have just been timer glitch there. Again, margin of error. This is an experimental feature. It's not an experimental feature from the back-end output of iRacing, but it's an experimental feature. We've never used this before, and especially with the ridiculously tight times here, I'm not as surprised that it may estimate off. And again, prediction. I predict I'll win the lottery tonight, but I probably won't. So a guess is always a guess. But here is Travis Beckner, our Hendry County Motorsports Park car. And if any driver is watching this right now, if you wonder why his number is green and his car is red, white, and blue, go into your iRacing paint shop. The first car color box on the left, whatever you have that as that color, that is what your number will output as. So if you want that to match, just go into your iRacing paint shop and update that first number. Travis will do that next week, I'm sure, and make it red or blue. But he'll cross the stripe. He's looking good. Take that with a grain of salt. But no, that was a mighty good lap. 3-way tie with the 136s.
Very cool looking paint scheme, by the way.
It's Hendry County. I'm not surprised. Let's be honest, guys. Hendry County, you know it's going to be fun. And, man, who's going to take down Pacioli? I feel like at this point I'm just buckling in for who's taking down Pacioli is, well, Garrett Grant. We can very clearly see who sponsors Garrett Grant.
Does he get extra horsepower for the league branding there?
Probably. Let's be honest. I could see Jacob Bell throwing that his way.
I mean, shop.areairacing.com. That was one of our big ad reads last season. I don't remember what segment they sponsored, but I know I read that ad read multiple times, and I'm sure I will read it multiple times here in 2026. But with the new branding that has been put through with Area, their merch looks pretty sick or pretty lit or whatever kids are saying these days. Check it out. Help out the league and get yourself some cool swag. But Garrett Grant looking to be... Again, take it with a grain of salt. Lap looks good. Let's see what it is once it clocks in. A 135. P6, excuse me, for the number 5.
That is Area's Ironman, by the way. He's got the most starts in Area history, runs practically every Cup, Truck, and Pro Series race since Season 1, including the ARCA Series, which is no longer existent because it only happened in Season 1. One season only. It was fun while it lasted. One top 10 on the season for Garrett Grant, so hopefully that area sponsorship has a little extra horsepower with him. Reese Schaefer in the 97.
Another name for us,
back
Brad.
in the Cup Series.
Yeah, Brad and I covered him in the SSRL, which was a league here on PTR TV, also where we remember Joseph Causey from. So that team has come area racing this year, and that lap is looking mighty sporty, Hunter, but we'll take that again. You never quite know.
Looking really good coming off turn 4. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s on the year last season for the number 97. Average finish in 19th. Where will this lap time put him? Right now it's projected to be faster than Pacioli, but will it be?
Oh, nope.
No.
So we've
Just
seen
outside the top 10 in 12th.
We've seen the timer be right on the money. We've seen it be early. We've seen it now be on the slow end. So take that with a grain of salt. But Jeremy Miller, he is next on the lineup here. What? I'm sure you may have the insides, but what is that? VAEH. I have a feeling that's an acronym because I would not know how to pronounce that word. And what is that? Oranges there?
That is a lip balm.
Oh, lip balm.
Lip balm. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I believe Connor Horn did mention it when he was up here. He's got a lot of sponsors coming through for 609 Motorsports this season, this being one of them. Lip balm all over the car, the number 30. Pretty good car for it to be on. Came 1/1000th short of becoming an Area 500 champion. And he's been itching to get that first Cup win, and it seems like the super speedways, it's his niche, it's his bread and butter. The number 30 of Jeremy Miller, again, looking pretty good. He's actually gaining time coming off turn 4. We'll see if this is accurate or not, but coming at the line to number 30 on the apron, will it be enough for pole?
Yep, P1. 121. Jeremy Miller knocks off Pacioli. YouTube chat, you done goofed it. So I'm sorry, what do they say at Indy when there's a new pole sitter? Or is that just a new track? It's a new track record. It's not a track record. I just wanted to say that. Track record, I think, is Bill Elliott in the 200s, which obviously we are far below that pace. Hayden Swank is looking to be the next driver out, but actually I don't see him here because we do have Josh Caudell on the track. So Patrick Moose and Swank, I believe, may have forfeited their times by not being present.
Shocked that Pacioli's time fell. That's an impressive run to get almost 100th of a second up here on Daytona. I mean, I know the times are close, but it's single car qualifying. It takes a lot to do that. So, I don't know if we ask Pacioli about that. I think I want to ask Bryce Sinisak about that. Bryce.
Yeah.
So Pacioli's time has fallen. What was his reaction? You were right there with him.
He saw Jeremy go out for his lap, and he was like, well, this could be a player in Brad mixing this thing, and it ended up happening. So he was like, well, where's second? He could be his like 10th or 11th, I think, something like that. So I had a feeling that a 12 was going to be a pole lap. It was just down to who or how many people were going to put down 12. So
absolutely, man. Well, I got to ask you, how is the team over at Slaughter Sim Racing feeling? Give me some behind the scenes. How's the team feeling? What are we expecting from you all this season?
Feeling pretty good. I don't want to put too many high expectations just because last few seasons haven't been great for me in the Cup Series. But just going out there just to have fun and race, that's kind of the mindset I'm trying to go into, and trying to just finish these races off and maybe somehow get my way into a chase spot. That'd be pretty cool. So
absolutely, man. And what are we expecting for the duels tonight? What do you think you're going to do? Where do you think you're going to be?
Man, it's all over the place. I know I won at the duel race 2 seasons ago in crazy fashion, and then went from hero to zero from last season. I made the pass to get into a spot to lock myself in because I wasn't on a team last season for Cup. And then I ended up getting hooked into turn 1 on the last lap and had to sit out for the Area 500, which was unfortunate. So this season's a lot more calm, just going out there and just race and see what happens, because no matter what, I'm in the show. So it's first time I had that experience in about 3 seasons.
Absolutely. Well, Bryce, man, good luck on it. We'll see how things go through the night, and we'll see how you do next week as well.
Yep.
Right now, Dylan Alt, remember he won the shootout last week and on track for about a top 5 to 8 lap, I would imagine, and right in that ballpark, 7th place for Dylan Alt here, as we only have about 7 cars left here in single car qualifying. Looks as though Michael Curhan scheduled to be next, and there he is, number 24, another one of those after Mark Coffee cars. And we'll see what he can muster, that number 24.
Previous champion in the Area Cup Series, looking to return to his winning ways. It's kind of tapered off a bit since his championship run back in Season 5. He does have 4 top 5s and 9 top 10s coming from last season. Average finish of 11th. He's a very consistent driver, so if it does come down to the current chase format, could put himself in a pretty good position to become a champion once more. He's looking pretty good going into turn 3. We'll see if that is accurate, as he's coming through 3 and 4. And mentioned he's a part of the Lucky Ducks stable with Josh Cottle, Douglas Newbigging, and John Forbes Jr. So we'll see what this 24 can put down.
Now we've seen about to be on the pole. I think they were in the high teens to the ones. A 129. That beats Pacioli. That locks him, gets him out of the lock-in spots, because top 2 are locked in. So Michael Curhan provisionally locked into the show by 2 1,000ths.
Number 30 car is being called to tech. Check the fuel in the 30 car, and then the 24. Also, you're being summoned to tech here. Looks like there is a uproar right now for Pacioli being down in P3.
Because you have to think too, boys, just look at our ticker right here. Every position is basically separated by 1 1,000th at 2 at most. A 7, that's almost 100th of a second in a field this stout at a plate track. My Atlanta Jeremy Miller was kicking butt around this place.
If that doesn't tell you he's dialed in for the season, I don't really know what will. But here's his teammate Adam Cabot with Matt Liveries on the hood of the number 17 car coming off turn 4. Don't know if it'll be enough to dethrone his teammate for the pole.
This ain't looking pretty. 142.
But it is looking good for 609 as a whole, because there's only a few cars left. And
okay, we just got baited. P2.
What?
All right, well, that's even better for 609 Motorsports. If they could lock out the front row to begin with. And we got Connor Horn qualifying as we speak. Things are looking pretty good for 609. There's only a few cars after him, that being Seth Knoll, James Scioli, and Jake Nichols. So they've still got fingers crossed that they can get the front row entirely of 609 Motorsports.
And Brad, we have a broadcaster decision. Do we redact this number, or do we man up and say this number all season?
It's Connor Horn, the reverse 7-6 with 609 Motorsports. I don't know. I got absolutely roasted a couple weekends ago because I was saying that a go-kart was going through turn 6 and 7, and I said that and it blew up. So I don't know. I don't care to say 6-7. It's up to you. Do you want to say 6-7?
Not really, but I feel as though I'm going to. But let's see what he can muster here. He will not. Well, actually, what do we know? The timer was completely off for Cabot. And for Connor Horn, no, it was pretty on point there. 21st starting spot for him. He will have a little bit of work to do there in the duels, which will be right around the corner here. Seth Noel currently on the racetrack right now. Sim Speed Shop Ford Mustang. Let's see what he can do with that number 1 car. He was very competitive there in the Florida State Builders Pro Series last year. We didn't get to cover him in the Cup Series. Looking forward to doing that this year.
Yeah, last 3 drivers were qualifying all from Solar Flare Racing. This guy, Seth Knoll, puts himself in a really good spot. Has trying to build off of what was a very strong Season 7 with 3 wins, 8 top 5s, and 14 top 10s. 357 laps led on the year as a whole. I believe that's second most compared to... Actually, no, it's not. It's top 5 regardless amongst drivers who competed last season in area. Looking pretty good. Going through turns 3 and 4. Will it be enough to dethrone Jeremy Miller for the pole?
Seth Knoll here, as I will try to drill that on the old noggin. Looks good, and it was good. Not top 5 good, but that's top 6 just outside of it there. So Seth Knoll will have a pretty good starting spot there for the feature, well, for the duels to come in short course here. James Scioli, let's see what he can do. Nice magenta colored number 7 car here this season.
Yeah, 6th for Seth Knoll. The 7 of Scioli coming through. Also a very formidable driver, very strong, very decent as well. 1 win last year, 8 top 5s, 11 top 10s. Only 43 laps led, though. That's the number that kind of shocked me the most. And only 1 cup win to go with that. Did have a average finish of 10th, though, so when we get into this chase format, 609 as a whole, or 609, you're going to have their work cut out for him with Solar Flare Racing as a whole. I mean, 609, I'm looking Adam Cabot, Connor Horn, they have an average finish of 11th from a season ago, but Seth Knoll and Jake Nichols with the same average finish. James Scioli 10th. It's going to open up the ball game for the championship side of things, but will this lap be good enough for pole for James Scioli?
That's looking pretty spicy right there. A 125 P3, close but no cigar, but certainly a great starting spot and a lap time for Scioli. And barring Drew Jua getting a reprieve, which I don't think is on the table here, Jake Nichols, our final 47th entry.
Indeed, and there's the 73, a very new look for that 73 car. We're so used to him running the purple Solar Flare Racing colors, but Sim Speed Shop aboard for this season for Solar Flare Racing, and we mentioned how good Jake Nichols is as a whole pretty much since he's joined Area iRacing. Last season, though, in particular, 3 wins, 10 top 5s, and 14 top 10s with 466 laps led. Average finish of 6th. This guy, there is no stopping him. He was the Season 7 champion for a reason. He's looking to become the Season 8 champion again, but looking to dethrone Jeremy Miller for the pole. We know 1609 car will be up on the front row. Can they lock it out, or will Solar Flare Racing dethrone the 30?
This looks tight. This is the highest predicted time we've had thus far, but it did not come to fruition there. 13th. Again, we got timer baited there, so that will wrap it up. And hats off, champagne and soda a spray, and Jeremy Miller, your Area 500 pole sitter here with a 50.121. And now I think we'll probably have a minute or two of admin time here, and then we will get situated for our duels in short order, guys.
Well, this has been fun. I mean, yeah, this has been fun. This has been wild. I'm enjoying this so far. We still have more racing to go.
Brad,
can I tell you how happy I am that we have more racing to go?
Yeah, Brad, we've never covered, well, that's a lie. We have covered 1 or 2 of these kind of single car qualifying sessions, but the way that this went, and Hunter, you being an absolutely encyclopedia, that was quite enjoyable. I hope you guys did enjoy it. We have one of the largest audiences we've had on PTR TV in quite some time, so appreciate everybody in chat. And if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, we're just inching our way up to 2,000 subscribers. Little channel advertising that we are obligated to do. But yeah, Jeremy Miller by 1/1000th of a second. And then ultimately Scioli, we talked about almost being a 100th of a second. Scioli kind of closed in that gap, 2/1000ths of a second. And throughout the entire field, I think it's 7/100ths of a second separating the entire field.
The ironic part about last season, it was Solar Flare Racing on the front row with James Scioli and Seth Knoll, but now it's reversed. We got Jeremy Miller and Adam Cabot on the front row, and only 1/1000th of a second separating Cabot from that pole. Jeremy Miller hoping he has that extra 1,000th of a second for the Area 500 next Monday.
So now we just have a little bit of time to kill here. I'm not exactly sure how much time to kill here. So we will just kind of run down the final order here as things stand. I've never used my race results ticker for this purpose, but hopefully it does work. Yes, it does. Here's where we stand here in Q. Jeremy Miller will be our pole sitter for the 8th annual Area 500 with Adam Cabot, James Scioli there at third. Again, all third on back. They are going to be racing it out in the duels here. But there's Seth Knoll, I will get it, in 7th. David Brown, John Forbes, Jake Fisher are top 10. Last week's winner, Dylan Alt, in 11th. Garrett Grant, 12th. Jake Nichols. And now we have some, some surprise names. Not really surprise names, because, again, look at boys. 0.15, 0.15, 0.15. These times are just ridiculous. And now we are getting the bump.
Crazy. But the bump? What's the bump? Oh,
I'm pretty sure it was a dance in the 90s, but in this instance, it's going to be the bump to Duel race number 1. And let's get you the starting lineup here today for such event. It's going to be Jeremy Miller. Again, he's already locked into the pole, but for the time being, he gets himself the best starting spot possible for the Duel. James Scioli. This will be all of our inside qualifiers, boys.
Absolutely. We got Timmy Pacioli and Seth Knoll in row number 2. Row 3, John Forbes Jr. and Dylan Alt. Going to be a fun name to watch out for. Jake Nichols, Travis Spector in the 4th row. Heavy hitters in there as well. Van Drugman and Justin Anasogak for row number 5. Row 6, it's going to be Philip Groner and Max Service, part of Bergards Motorsports. Keep an eye on him. Row 7, Douglas Dubig back in the Area Cup Series, and Cole Hooper, a rookie. Coming through, Brad Slaughter, the number 8 car in the 8th row, with Patrick Moose in the 45. Row 17, going to be Tyler Nichols and Brent Punkari. Row 10, we'll find Frankie Barroso and Seth Berger in the number 77. Christian DeBoer, 21st, and Zachary Nerney, 22nd, with Nico Servideo and AJ Stravato, 23rd and 24th for our 24-car field for Duel number 1.
And just to, again, reiterate, we do have 43 entries. 36 charters are locked in, as one would infer. So we do have 7 open drivers. And it is a little bit of a process of how that, works through between each of the duels. But moral of the story is, if you know you're not chartered, you better finish higher than those other boys that ain't chartered so that you give yourself the best shot. About 30 laps, so we shouldn't have any fuel issues. This should just be a straight run to the checkers, correct, by Fritz?
You are correct. If I could remember to unmute, that would be great, because I was saying that right then. And also I was going to note that the finishing positions for those open drivers are across both duels. So if one of those open guys can win a duel, then they pretty much guarantee they don't have issues. But if you end up with some of the open guys mixed in, say a couple guys in duel 1 go P1, 2, 3, and then in duel 2 it's 4 and 5, then obviously those guys in duel 1 with the higher finishing results, they get favored over the lower finishers in the second duel.
And of course, there's a little bit less pressure here than there would be in the real world. Because, of course, in the real world, and this has happened many a time, the Daytona 500 pole sitter damages their car to the point where they have to pull a backup out, and then they lose their pole position for the real race. So that pressure will not come to play here. So Jeremy Miller could really use this as a straight test session. Of course, the 500, I do believe, is going to be during the daytime conditions. But we finally are rolling off here. Somebody pulling off to the inside, that 8 car. Maybe trying to start at the back. Brad Slaughter, that is. But pulling out here for a pace lap.
I will give some insight into Brad Slaughter. So over the offseason, he became a dad. He's got, I'm pretty sure it's his little baby girl, Amelia, that he might be attending to. So that could be a theme throughout the season because, daddy duty calls. So sometimes whenever you need to park and stop, you have to do it, especially being a newborn father as well. But we hope all is well for the Slaughter family, and hopefully we'll get to see him turn some laps here in this duel.
Did you just say a newborn father yourself?
Well, he's a new dad with a new.
Oh, I thought no. I took that as you.
I
I'm
heard
like
that
you didn't.
too.
I'm like you didn't tell us that. I mean, is this?
I thought I mentioned it from the dirt race back in January. No, could be wrong, but anyway, we hope all is well with the Slaughter family as the field makes.
We thought you had a kid. That's what we just picked up from that.
What?
That's what we just picked up from that. So we're wrong. No bottles in the Sleppy household, but at least of that sort. But anywho, back on topic here. And what's on tap? No pun intended. We got 30 laps here. The number 30 car, our pole sitter for the Area 500 with James Scioli to the outside. This will set the inside running order and dictate about half of the drivers who will get sent home of our open drivers. But coming off turn number 4, World Center of Racing, we had the 8th annual area preseason shootout last week, but now it feels real. Now there's something on the line. Now there's a level of importance. It's your Area 500 livelihood. Your pace car pulls on into the start zone. Barney has the flag at hand, and let's go dual racing, boys.
Going into turn number 1 for the first time here for heat number 1, lap 1 of 30. Everybody playing polite so far. 2 by 2 they go. Nobody looking to make anything crazy. Little bit of sliding around through the first 4 or 5 spots on the high line. But again, everyone just, I think right now, thinking long term. You got 30 laps to get through here in this heat. Don't do anything crazy. And as I say that, someone jumps up high.
Yeah, that's someone being Jake Nichols in the 73s, the 5th car on the outside lane now, as being led by the 7 of James Scioli there with Seth Knoll behind, and Dylan Alt as well with Travis Beckner and Jake Nichols on the outside lane. So the inside lane not really going on the start, but leading the first lap, it'll be the 7 of James Scioli.
And of course, we'll see over the course of the race. We know that there's the different team affiliations, satellite teams, who's going to work together, but also what is the strategy level? What's the level of urgency going to be? Because, of course, many of these drivers know they're locked in. They're just fighting for their starting spots. And will it be a 250-mile race next week? But some of those drivers, again, those rookies, we got some of them fighting for their lives. And those different strategies, the comers and goers, hopefully no mistakes are made.
Thinking about some of the rookies here on the chopping block in this heat through. I mean, we've got Zach Nerney, of course, to talk about him. Pacioli up there in P7. He is on the chopping block, just to remind everyone. He is a driver that his future is not guaranteed for the 500. He's got to perform today. I mean, he for a long time was looking on pole, but that doesn't guarantee anything. Other drivers through, of course, to look at as well across both heats. It's Gavin Rogers, Ben Pierce, Hayden Swank, Christian DeBoer, Nico Servideo, Brett Puncari, Jake Fisher, Philip Groner, Quam Scott, Frankie Barroso, and Jarrett Talmeg, and of course, as I said earlier, Timmy Pacioli. Those are all your rookies to come through, so if you're wondering what drivers are going to race a little bit harder than others, well, those are the names I'm looking at.
Looking at the Ada Slaughter, he was able to get back going and has made his way to the field. I wouldn't say to the front, but he's actually fallen to the back on that outside lane. Seth Berger behind, trying to keep him in tow. Right on the outside there, I believe that's the 45 car. Still, the 7 leading the way through, but out the bumper you see, he's on the outside, 3 wide racing. I was questioning whether we could do 3 wide if we had enough cars to do so, because we saw in the shootout last week that for the heats, not so much, but for the main event, we absolutely could. And we got some more drivers trying to go out there, so working their way through 3 and 4.
I think a big difference that we will see here is a lot of checking up going on in the middle there. I think I saw the 81 of Max Service having a little bit of blinking issues, and now because of that, you saw someone pull up to the outside of the racetrack. That is Cole Hooper in the 99. But last week we had, everyone was racing for themselves, even if there was team affiliations, even if there was friendships and partnerships. Everyone was racing for themselves last week, so we saw guys take runs at every opportunity. Now, we're racing for something of more meaning. I think we're going to see more calculated moves, and maybe that will help, maybe that will hurt the 3 wide, but I'll tell you, Jake Nichols is leading the train up there.
Nichols here looking really good so far. Him and Seth Knoll are holding on up front, doing what they can to try to make moves along. They are just working on everything through as they go along. This is going to be one of those moments where, you're 100% right, Corey. You're racing for something more, and of course, one of the big things here in area is, we don't get the blessing of a backup car. We don't get anything to go through, so you've got to keep yourself together for the entire run here. You've got to keep it moving and grooving and together all the way through. So that calculated risk, it really is a risk versus reward moment. And I think some guys are taking that calculated risk and just staying back a bit more here early on.
Yeah, especially if you're an open car, you need to take this with precaution, because if you don't and you get caught up in a wreck, that could be your only shot at making the Area 500, and you don't want to be a part of that incident. Meanwhile, we got some squirrely action going on up here. Seth Knoll with a little squirrely move. Travis Beckner, he jumped up to the outside halfway down the backstretch into 3. He'll lead the lap that time through. He's got Dylan Alt behind, pushing him through. Seth Berger, the 77 car on the outside, he'll be able to tuck in line right in front of the 56 car of Van Drugman, right around the 20th spot as the field works their way 2x2 down the backstretch.
A 2x2, which is kind of next-gen formation that we are used to here in these restrictor plate, tapered spacer style races, whatever you do want to call them. But Travis Beckner has the lead, but just as soon as he gets the lead, there goes James Scioli to the inside with Max Service. And then Dylan Alt, he is outside row number 2. Remember, he won last week in the preseason shootout here. Philip Groner there, and we are 2x2. Every driver, all 24 heat drivers, right here within 1.2 seconds in this main draft.
That draft holding on here early on.
Daisy, that wasn't Princess Peach. That was Daisy up there to the top of the track. I believe that was, I'm trying to remember the name of that driver. Yep, and kissing the wall there down the backstretch, all the way up by the wall, dropping all the way to arrears. That number 35. But up front, Dylan Alt in a favorable position. And if we, again, just kind of replaying back to last week, Dylan Alt leading this race, boys. He had the elevator move. He was the traffic cop, whatever you want to call it. That man could hold off multiple lanes at a time. So that is a difficult car to have up front. But I don't want to make Taylor Swift jokes, but I got to make one. It is like one of the original albums because the sparks are flying. These cars are low to the ground, bottoming out here, which doesn't certainly help the speed, doesn't help the handling, but you need all that downforce and minimize as much drag as possible.
Well, jumping to the outside, saw the 99 of Cole Hooper trying to get a third lane going. Van Drugman behind, giving him a little shove, going through 3 and 4. But up front, it's kind of calmed down as we're in the Hornet's Nest right here with Van Drugman right on top of the 99 car, giving him a nice shove through the trial home into turn 1. First few cars in the inside lane are clear, steering clear. Travis Beckner side by side with Seth Knoll for that 4th spot. And then back here, right around the 15th position, we'll find Cole Hooper getting pushed by Van Drugman down the backstretch.
On the backstretch we go here. Everyone's still working their way through. And again, up front, though, just Dylan Alt, James Scioli holding through. I'm really curious to see when that 28 of Beckner tries to make that middle line take a move here with the 11. And I'm really expecting more cars to start pulling to the high line. The high line seemed to have a run there early on. And then as everyone just sort of shuffled in, it closed through a bit more. So we're only a third race distance here. So there's still plenty to play for. That third race distance through. Nobody really looking to do anything too crazy yet here. Again, I think we're just on that survival phase.
I did see Seth Knoll drop to the bottom slightly below the yellow line, which is allowed if you're not gaining position. But one thing, getting air, which is very important, cooling these radiators down, because when you are in such tight confines of the draft, such as where Philip Groner is right now in that 11, see him pulling out a line there, needs to cool that car off. And when that happens, that breaks that draft, that breaks the train, and that causes that outside to go into Alicia Keys mode because it keeps on falling, loses about 2 or 3 cars in its proximity to where they were. And now Maybe he has a little bit of fresh air now. Now gets a second surge at it, trying to recoup that lane, but nobody of those top 4 pulling up. I think that's what's going to be necessary, but still so many laps left. You can have time for patience at this juncture.
Man, nice run down the back for Travis Beckner on that outside lane. He's getting back up to the bumper, well, alongside the one of Seth Knoll, but trying to get close to the bumper of Max Service, and nice in that third position. Did mention keep an eye on him. He's kind of flown under the radar, if you will, and the 47 of Dylan Alt. We saw that in the shootout. We're seeing it again here. He's moving up, giving some clean air to the 7. Some door banging there between Beckner and Scioli, and now he'll jump up to block the run from Travis Beckner, provided by Max Service on the bottom. Actually, that wasn't Max Service. That was Philip Groner, if you will. But Beckner to the bottom with Philip Groner. And now Van Jugman right around that 10th spot. He's trying to push Jake Nichols through, give him some more momentum on the outside. That kind of checked up the outside lane. So now the first few cars on the inside lane are moving and grooving. Holy cow. Look at the bumps into 3.
Yeah, that was about a 5-mile-an-hour speed variance there, and that's what it is here, about 198 to 192. That's what Dylan Alt dropped down to, but now kind of doing the tandem style. He's got a push from the Moose, and they are 2x2 drafting. You saw that big in about 2010, that tandem style drafting. You can do it in very short order here in these next-gen cars, but eventually it kind of stalls out. But speaking of stalling out, third lane trying to get going all the way to the back of the field. 77 a Berger squishing the bun up into the wall.
I did the thing where I forgot to unmute my mic again, guys. I'm such a professional at this. You could tell I've done this at least once, I'm sure. Going through here, everyone's still pushing through. We've started to hit that mid-race point as we're into 16 laps to go when they cross the line here. If you are in the back and you are an open driver and you are thinking about what you need to do, as Slaughter now pulls up to the high line there, if you are a driver, though, who has to have a good result, you've got to start thinking about that now. You need to start shuffling your way up front. You need to stay out of the chaos, though. If there's any cautions, any big things as well. We see near the back, 3 wide starting, some beating, some bumping here on board with Innisogan.
197 miles an hour here. These next gens will top out right around the 200 ball game here in maximum draft, but kind of stalls out alongside Beckner. Needs a little bit more. Can't get much more than what Alt's providing, but you need a little bit more behind. You need that bright green car. That is Patrick Moose to create a trio, but that's where the danger comes, boys. There's always a saying, you can push the pusher, but if you're in third, you can't push the guy who's pushing, because then you just end up creating a massive wreck. So it's always that difficult part, trying to get a 3-car train going, but someone's trying to get a 3-car train going. We have a pass for the lead up top, and we also have a third lane queued up about 5 rows back.
Yeah, looking back, it's right around the top 10 bubble, but it's Douglas Dubiging in the 71 leading the way on the outside lane. Brad Slaughter pushing him through in the number 8. They're getting awfully dicey there, going through 3 and 4, but they're making it work. Starting to make up some ground, trying to crack the top 10. These guys have been throwing blocks the last couple of laps. Knoll and Beckner, they've been slicing and dicing their way, trying to go back up. Won the lead, whatever lane it must be, the top or the bottom. But down to the bottom goes Knoll. Beckner's going to lead that second lane. And then, don't look now, mentioned it earlier, here comes the 71 of Newbiggin with a strong run down the backstretch.
Now, these guys went to the Joey Logano School of Drafting, which means you block like your life depends on it. Doesn't matter what lap it is. Noel going top, Noel going bottom. Only thing he hasn't got is third lane, and he may have to entertain that because Dylan Alt has a head of steam with a big push from Newbigging here. 45 of Moose kind of stalling out in the middle, and this is the highest up we have seen the third lane get some momentum. 5 cars up there. Going to the top is Beckner taking the run off the third lane.
Beckner cutting the air off, and now look at this. Seth Knoll doesn't know where to go. He was looking high, he was looking low, he comes up, he takes a bump there from the 28 of Beckner, and then he goes right back to the middle lane. So he's trying to look somewhere and find the momentum, tell what lane has the move here down the backstretch. And right now, it looks like that top lane really with a head of steam here, taking Beckner to the front. Beckner is going to get to the front, but now what happens? He gets up here, he drops down in front of the one of Seth Knoll, and now, well, we end up with the conga line, the shuffle, where you're going to end up just seeing these lines sort of recirculate and recycle themselves along. And guys, we still have 12 laps of this to go.
Yeah, somebody might want to tell the field there's a 1 in front of that 3, and there's 1 in front of the 2 now, 12 to go. But they're racing like it's 2 to go. 3 by 3 throughout the field. That outside lane is moving along. Beckner goes to the bottom. Newbiggin goes to the front. He's going to side draft this 28. Brad Slaughter is now leading the way on the outside lane. Dylan Alt with a big shove from Seth Knoll through the middle. Down the back they go. And some more side-by-side racing as Newbiggin now leads the way.
Somebody tell these boys that there's no money behind this race. It's just a matter of getting yourself logged in, but we have some open drivers currently on the cut that need to make something happen. Newbiggin up to the front, Knoll just behind, and that was the most momentum we've seen all race, and even in the preseason race, the best we've ever seen that third lane work. Now they know the magic ticket, and now we're starting to see those blocks, the top to bottoms, the top to bottom to middles, and we're really starting to see the individual play now. The team orders are gone. It is about me, and only me.
If I'm an open driver and I'm anywhere in this and I see this chaos going, I'm getting out of the middle of the pack right now if I'm them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of guys start shuffling to the back of the pack and thinking, you know what? I'm going to let these guys wreck themselves out, and I'll keep myself going here as we go through. Because, again, we're still 10 laps to go once they cross the line here. And wow, we've gotten the nice 3 by 3. Oh, no, there it is.
Calamity strikes off turn 4 as the caution comes out with 11 laps to go. A number of contenders involved in this one. It was just a matter of time. You just didn't know when it was going to happen, and it happened at the worst possible place, right on the exit of the turn. Cars scattered all over the front stretch.
Yeah, there was just no way that that was going to be sustainable for another 13 to 15 laps. Up on the top, whoever was on the top lane got turned. That was, who was that? The number 45 car got turned. Patrick Moose will get a perspective of it right here. Slaughter behind. Yeah, he got pushed from the third lane, and I mean, then it's just Daytona from that point on.
I don't think there's a better way to phrase that than it's just Daytona from that point on, because doggone me, what an actual moment there. Caution in Heat 1. Wasn't expecting to see cautions.
But if you like what you see, again, this is only the prelude to what you're going to see next week. On March 23rd, the Area 500, the 8th annual Area 500, which, for those who don't know the math, it is actually only a 100-lap race, but the number 500 is way cooler, but it will be here exclusively on PTR TV, your home for Area in 2026. Now, how many drivers did that cause cataclysmic damage to? Well, we have about 6 on pit road right now. That is Slaughter, who, all the pun intended, the front of his car is as such his name, and the rear of his car to boot.
Yeah, we're seeing a number of drivers come down pit road. We got Van Drungman. I saw he was involved in that. Some front-end damage to his machine. And, yeah, it's just unfortunate to see this happen with still so much time left in the race. I mean, they were coming to 10 to go, but racing that intense, I mean, it was just bound to happen. Sonia Sogak get collected in it. Piece of that for, I believe that's John Forbes Jr. That's right in front of Travis Spector on pit lane. So a number of guys doing repairs, someone blinking. Might as well do 4 tires while you're at it. But in the meantime, Dylan Alt is your leader. Seth Knoll running in second. Douglas Newbiggin and Frankie Barroso, the highest of the open cars, in the 4th spot.
And you know, just kind of going back to what you were saying of, you know, the fact that there was still 10 laps to go. We saw the pushing we saw. I mean, we talk about here in the next gen that at certain times it kind of seems out of control. There was no stability in any of those pushes. There was not, let me back off and, give him a solid, smooth push. Those were just absolute shots at all points. We saw the cars, getting squirrely by a foot or two each way. And what's even more crazy is we have about, I think, 23 drivers queued up, ready to do this same thing in about 10 minutes' time.
Oh, yeah, we do. And that's what's going to get real exciting is they get to take all the notes here from Heat 1 and this first duel. They get to take all of the notes of what's happened in this first duel, how the cars are handling, how the shoves can be taken, and then they get to run and do it again.
Yeah, there's some drivers in this second duel coming up that are looking at how to race and how to not race and when to make the move. Very good for those that are in the second duel, which we'll see in just a moment. We're 8 laps away from that being a reality this time by. I think the lights should go out on the pace car. We've still got guys sitting on pit road, that being, I think that's AJ Stravato, Justin Anisogak, and Brad Slaughter make their way out of pit road.
And they will just beat the pace car out, so they will have to hightail it around here, and whenever that ticker turns blue, that indicates the pace car has turned its lights off, so that will be 1 to go regarding our pace lap here. Dylan Alt trying to keep the Daytona Speed Weeks sweep alive here. Won the preseason. Well, I guess didn't get the pole. So would that be, if you wanted the Daytona sweep, does that mean you had to get the pole too, or can he win the preseason, the duel, and the race, and does that count as a clean sweep?
No, I'd say clean sweep is the shootout, the duel, and I'd want to... Actually, no, it is the pole, too, because I'm thinking back to 08 when Dale Jr. almost did it. So, yeah, you would have to do the shootout, the pole, the duel, and the 500.
All right, so... Well, 3 out of 4. Let's go back to 1997. They had the Winston Million when you got 3 of the Crown Jewel events, and you got yourself a cool million. Jeff Gordon got that, so we'll say the Daytona Speed Weeks. I don't know. We'll find something cool. But either way, he's got a lot of work to do before we can even make that fictitious award, because he has to win this race, and he is in great position to do it. Douglas Newbigging, again, he was one of those drivers who went full bananas on that third lane, which we hadn't seen competitive until the very end of the race. Again, no fuel saving, nothing like that here. 30 laps. This is just a full run to the end, and I think we still have probably in the vein of about 17 drivers with a solid chance and a clean car for these last 7 laps.
Buckle it up. Let's do it again, and then we'll do it again after this for a little bit more. Pace car is going to pull off. Alt is going to have the run here with Seth Knoll on his outside. We come into the restart zone, and it is going to be green flag. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 7 laps to go as they cross the line.
Dylan Alt already going up to the top of the track, picking up Seth Knoll up there, leaving Newbigging down to the bottom with, I believe that may be Cole Hooper, if I'm not mistaken, in that blue car. So bottom lane already falling back 4 or 5 rows off of the get-go, but I don't expect that to stay into fruition there. There is Berger. Said that bun was dented earlier, was squashed, but tried to bring it back to life here. Has no help. He's going to have to find help, and it's going to be in the form of the 71 of Newbigging.
The first... shall I say, 6 or 7 cars. Actually, scratch that. It's going to be 5. That inside lane's coming fast. First 5 cars in the outside lane are single file. Meanwhile, they're 3 wide behind coming through the trial with their 6 more laps in this first duel. Berger going nowhere, actually just dropping the anchor. And they are getting squirrely up here through 1 and 2.
Scioli goes all the way up to the fence, takes that 3rd lane. And again, voluntarily going to the 3rd lane. Never would have said that earlier in the race, but he has the great push from Jeremy Miller, our Daytona, Area 500 pole sitter. He really hasn't made much of a presence here in all this chaos, but now that it's game time, he wants to do just that. Groner running the middle lane. We got the top, we got the middle, the bottom is absolutely the one going nowhere with Berger there to the far, far inside. And there you go, down at the bottom goes Groner. finally someone making that bottom lane work. Never mind, he goes back to the middle.
Hold on, he might go back. He might go back up if he can, or back down if he can make it work here. He doesn't. That's going to leave an interesting position here on the bottom lane. That bottom lane now starting to tighten up again, as it looks like Berger just not able to be the front car. Unfortunately, I think Berger's in that situation where he can't be the front car, but he can be in the lane to run up front. Look at that 47 going up, going middle, trying to go low, trying to block all three lanes, trying to keep the run. This is going to be the dangerous game up front, and this is where you see those drivers up in the front really end up in incidents when they're trying to block all three lanes and manage the entire field. They can't always do it, and there it is again.
Well, there's one person that can make it work. It's Dylan Alt in the 47. I mean, he's doing it from bottom to middle to top. 4 more laps of this, and he'll have a good starting spot for the Area 500. He'll block the drug. Ooh, he'll block Frankie Barroso, actually. That's not Van Drugman. Drugman is behind Barroso, though. Good run down the middle, and a massive block again from Alt on the outside lane with Barroso. Strong run in the middle. Again, the highest open car, that 51, running in third.
But in our YouTube chat, is this actually going to run to the end? I'm not sure if we have overtime. I'm sure we probably have one, but big wiggle, 51 of Barroso. The push from the 56 of Van Drugman must have been too much. That'll kill the middle lane. Top 4 on the third lane will clear. 3 laps to go. Remember, we get to the white. We'll finish to the checkered unconditionally without any sort of reset. But here comes Jeremy Miller with the push from Van Drugman. You can see the squirreling as 56 of Van Drugman. I'm not pushing. I'm going to the bottom 3 wide.
That 51 looks very squirrely in the middle. Does not look like he's having a good time there in the pack at all. And that is allowing that top line to run away. And that bottom line, again, just absolutely killed right now with no momentum here through 3 and 4. Wiggle again in the middle. And in the top lane, they break all the way through. I'm going to have a heart attack before this is done. Battling up in the front. Here we go. We've got some peaks around. Crossing the line, guys. 2 to go.
Well, that heart attack could come in the next 2 laps. Jeremy Miller back to the front like he was. There goes the video! Spun into the outside wall in turn 1.
Yeah, big jump here. Wreck. We'll try to find it here, but cameras are a little bit slow there. There is a huge one. Nico Servideo around, kind of saw a little bit of it. Just give me a second, folks, and we will get ourselves the best possible angle of it here. Nico Servideo, again, he just got flat right hooked in that number 18 car. There was a checkup, and when there was a checkup, Anna Sogak got into him, and they just flat wadded in the entry of the corner there. And that should put us into overtime.
100%. Half the field was involved in this one, and they caught the 47 of Alt, was very slow. Bad accordion bump, and then just the hook from Anna Sogak. Nowhere to go for James Scioli. Saw Servideo get dumped. Patrick Moose in the 45. And I was actually keeping note of Brent Pugari in the 35. It seemed like at some point, when 5 cars for a brief moment were clear on that outside lane, that he would jump down. He was having a pretty good run, staying out of trouble, but then caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. And yeah, we will have a green-white checker, Brad, for duel number 1. Could Jeremy Miller just stay in front and keep the win to himself?
He's going to try. I mean, he's going to try. The thing is, it's Daytona. This is we just came out of Vegas in the real world where, it's all about, are you feeling lucky? Daytona is a track where the big thing is, are you lucky? It's not even, are you feeling lucky? It's, are you going to be lucky here as we go through? We all know what the final lap at Daytona can look like as the cars go through. And, well, this is the point where you pull the belts really tight. You just sort of hope, and we see how it ends.
Well, I guess the advantage for Jeremy Miller is that with a 2-lap shootout, it doesn't really allow a third lane to get a massive buildup. It does take a few laps to get it wound up and get the cars up there in the third lane, get that momentum rolling. With 2 laps, takes about maybe to turn 3 to get up to full speed, and then you really only have a lap and a third to make your moves here, as obviously a bunch of drivers will come to the attention of their crews here because of the significant damage at play. There's Slaughter, there's Beckner, there is Jake Nichols, and a myriad of others. But for those up front, your opportunities are going to be less. You're going to have less people to draft with, and again, less time to get that run made. But
just
also,
looking here on the back end,
just sorry to cut you off. I guess one thing of importance is open drivers that need to get in. Is it going to be a battle of who gets jerry rigged up for 2 laps better than the next guy?
that is literally what I was about to say. Is it's looking at literally whose crew can fix their car, who can get the most repairs, who has not enough damage to worry about repairs right now, because most of the open guys were in that to some capacity, just kind of looking through the field here and looking at who's down. Predicted cut line, we're saying around 12th place here in the open. That would put Patrick Moose there, and of course that'll put Zach Nerney up into 11th, which means that provisionally he could be above a cut line, but we don't know where the cut line is going to be at. Timmy Pacioli has a meatball flag. James Scioli has a meatball flag. Unfortunately for Punkari, he is done as well. The 35 is out.
If Timmy Pacioli goes from leading qualifying till about maybe 6 or 7 cars to go to missing the 500, oh my goodness. Like, can you just imagine a range of emotions over the course of about 50 minutes?
I don't want that. I'm going to be real honest with you. Yeah, no, Hunter, I don't want that at all.
Neither do I. That's unfortunate. Sometimes that's the luck of the draw, though, whenever you're at Daytona. It's unfortunate as it may be, but we still have a duel to settle out here, as we should get the one to go this time by. That being...
Yep, there we go. It turns blue there for the flag. That means we did get the one to go.
Oh. Excellent.
So Jeremy Miller try to do the sweep to the best of his abilities, and we just look behind. We see Philip Groner, and again, you got that 47 car in the mix. He is by far the aggressor. I mean, Brad Slaughter, from my memory from the series we covered last year, I always said he is the plate racer aggressor. But Dylan Alt has him one-upped, and I have never seen a guy not afraid to make a move, to make a block, to go high-low. Even though he's in 4th, I got my eye on that 47.
I think my eye right now is going to be going to the number 1, Seth Knoll. I think that's who I'm looking at here. Hunter, what about you, man?
This is a challenging one. I'm looking at that car behind him. I think that's Max Service in the 81. He was caught up in the first wreck. Seems to be doing just fine. He's got himself up to the 7th spot on the inside lane, but we'll have to see if the C's part and if he gets a good, strong enough run. He'll have his teammate behind him in Seth Berger, and Berger cannot lead the line, but he sure as hell can push the line. So we'll see if Burgarts Motorsports can get one of their drivers into a winning position for the duel number 1. And again, this is for the second row, the inside lane for the Area 500. So this is for the 3rd starting position. Very valuable track position. And again, if Jeremy Miller wins this duel, he won't start 3rd. He'll still start 1st. The 3rd place position for the Area 500 will go to whoever finishes 2nd. So there's still a race within a race.
All right, and the pace car will pull on in, and we're going to head 2 laps to go here. Our overtime heat restart, dual restart here. Jeremy Miller gets it rolling here. I'll tell you, the pushes from behind are not that coordinated right now, and that's going to give... That is Van Drugman to the outside with the push from Dylan Alt. Has a head of steam. 51 of Frankie Barroso trying to do a trio up there. Outside lane is formed. Jeremy Miller, he may be a sitting duck.
This is literally going to be a game of who forms the line faster and better as we watch the line and the lanes form coming into 3. Now let's see how they do through 3. Is anyone going to try to get brave and form a third line here early on? I don't see it here. 2x2 as the game will come out of 4. If we see the white flag out of 4 and we cross the line, it'll be 1 lap to go. White flag comes out, 1 lap to go here, Hunter. Let's see how it ends.
Final lap here in the first duel. Van Drugman leading the way on that outside lane. Dylan Alt right behind. Frankie Barroso, the highest open car in third. 3 cars clear to the inside lane with Jeremy Miller leading through on the bottom. On board with Drugman driving perfectly. I mean, perfectly right now, but halfway down the back, Dylan Alt looking to make a move. He's got half a lap to do so.
That's Van Drugman with the lead on the outside lane. Dylan Alt in second. Frankie Barroso with third. And here they come. They're going to bail in turn 3. They're going to go door to door for the race lead. Only 1 car to the top. That's Barroso. Try to give Van Drugman some help. But what will come off the corner? Will there be a side draft? No. Dylan Alt try to do the sweep. Here comes the side draft. Here comes the comeback. A little contact. But Alt gets another win here as calamity ensues after the checkers.
Checkers to wreckers, that's what they always say.
There it is, 3/100ths of a second. Dylan Alt, we were just joking about going for the sweep. Well, he got himself the preseason, he got himself a duel. Now, he sets himself set on the 500 next week. And we will have our second duel right on our hands, but there will be an extended grid time. Again, these guys have been sitting for a while, watching maybe the broadcast, having some meetings, so that gives them time to rush back to their cars to get the cover off, get buckled in, and get ready.
Well, a solid showing from Boyd Motorsports, realizing Dylan Alt and Cole Hooper, both cars in that heat, in the duel, I should say, both inside the top 5. Both will have very good starting positions for the Area 500.
And we'll get the final. I mean, obviously, we don't know exactly who is not making it yet, but that information will come into us in short order. And we will, as soon as we know who the drivers that are on the cut line are, we will, of course, inform you guys. But while things do load on in here, let's just give you that running order for our second duel on the evening. Adam Cabot is going to start up front along with Michael Curhan in row number 1. Row number 2 finds David Weishart and David Round, a row of Davids, in row 2. Jake Fisher in 3rd, Garrett Grant in 5th, and Garrett Grant in 6th, Logan Helton in 7th, Josh Caudell in 8th. We got 24 cars strong. Jarrett Talmadge and Reese Schaefer 9th and 10th there, Brad.
Moving on from there, we're going to go P11, Gavin Rogers. Connor Horn will be in P12. Ben Pierce will find 13th, and Rocky Boyd III will find P14. P15 here, Zach Carr with Jacob Harberts. P16, 17th place here in the heat will be Kwame Scott with Bryce Sinisak finishing out P18. 19th place, Ryan Swan. Joseph Causey finds P20 here. And then just finishing things out, it's Sebastian Marin in 21st, Liam Sheen 22nd. 23rd on the night is the boss man himself, Jacob Bell, and then Drew Jua in 24th position.
Now, Drew Jua did not qualify because he was on in the session, and he is not lined up here as of yet, so that will likely forfeit his efforts. And you did see on the graphic there for the starting lineup, it did show some team names for certain drivers, and because I know somebody is going to ping me if your team name is wrong or it doesn't show up. Jacob Bell did give all the drivers the information to send us the information that you need. I did pull some information from last year, but if it's outdated, send it and we will have it fresh for the 500. But yeah, certainly an exciting heat race. We saw that 2-3 wide, and I guess as you guys were talking about, sometimes it's easier to go second than it is to go first. And these drivers saw what those drivers did. They saw the third lane come in as well as it did. They saw the ups and downs, the lane changes, the blocking. After you just computed all that, how do you translate that into what you want to try to accomplish in this race?
I think for me, the big key is going to be just remembering that you got to get all the way to the end of the race. I think it's a matter of the guys are just going to have to remember a little bit of patience here and remember, that is the key for the night. You don't want to do anything too wild, too crazy. You want to just hold on all the way through. And if they do that, I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, this one's all about just staying alive to the finish. I mean, we saw, for the most part, Jeremy Miller, although he didn't win, but he was up front, then he kind of faded towards the back, and then right at the very end, he was in a position to win. And I think if you're anyone in this field, that's probably the best scenario you can do. Just stay out of it for the longest time, navigate through the wrecks, and then if you're up there in the end, you're up there in the end. You got a good shot. That's all you need, especially with the open cars, which looking through, Frankie Barroso and Philip Groner are currently the highest of the open cars so far. They finished 4th, that being Barroso, and 7th, that being Groner. So we'll have to keep an eye on the open cars in this duel and where they position themselves throughout the next 30 laps.
Of course, so we just got obviously a really good expectation of what could happen here. Hopefully we don't have the massive wrecks, but it's Daytona. There's a lot on the line. Drivers wanting to enter the race, drivers wanting to ensure they have the best starting spot possible for next week's 8th annual Area 500. Adam Cabot will start this race in the power spot there at row 1 inside. This race will cement our outside row for the big race next week. But the pace car is going to pull on in, and we will try to see what we can line up here. We saw some craziness in Duel 1. Will it be replicated? I have a feeling yes. Into the start zone, and let's go heat racing for the second time tonight, boys.
And everyone gets away. Already, we've got Rocky Boyd looking to make a 3rd lane start, and we're not even into turn 1. And, well, it looks like all of Rocky Boyd and his team are already looking at the top line here. That is the other Rocky Boyd car, Jacob Harbert's the 80, who's going to jump in as well and start pushing through. So, very clearly, there is a different energy here in duel number 2 than there was in duel number 1.
Yeah, if they can get it going early, they absolutely can, and they will, doing just that. A lot of 3-wide racing through 3 and 4 compared to what we saw in the first duel as it started out. Curran leading the way on the outside lane, Adam Cabot on the bottom, that being David Brown pushing. And at the line, it will be Michael Curran leading lap 1, but don't look now. Here comes Brown to the outside, actually through the middle now. Actually, stretch that. It's happening too fast. Garrett Grace on the outside lane leading through 1 and 2.
Josh Caudell running in the middle right now. You get to see the sparks flying all over. This is kind of what we saw lap 27-28. Mega push there to the back of David Brown, trying to make something happen in that middle lane. Back in the day, the middle lane was kind of a hot spot in iRacing because you got the draft from each side, but these next-gen cars don't put out a lot of side drafts, so that middle is not as advantageous as it was in prior iterations here on the service. But currently, Weishart trying to make the push happen, has the teammate Garrett Grant behind him. And there goes the run to the top, Adam Cabot.
Run to the top here, trying to go through for Adam if he can make it work. And it looks like he is here at the moment in that number 17, trying to just hold cars behind. They're splitting between the middle and the top lane. That is Helton who is now swerving through and around as we hop on board here. I mean,
I could read the text on Weishart's helmet. That's how tight they were drafting there.
That's crazy. That is just the nature of Daytona, though. It is such a draft-happy track, and you kind of have to be that close to really make it work.
Adam Cabot leading that outside charge with the push from Rocky Boyd. Logan Helton there in 3rd, and in the 3x3. Oh my goodness, who was that with the high-low move? That was the 63 car.
Logan Helton. I mean, he's making it work. It's hard to miss him with Joe on the front of the car, and he's going to the front.
Someone went to the Dylan Alt School of Drafting here. High, low, and all over here, that number 63 car.
These guys,
I mean,
I thought Duel 1 was giving me a heart attack. This is, all right, my blood pressure's up a little bit. I might have to make a couple phone calls, guys. Good luck, you got this one.
it's only lap 4. It's only lap 4, but they're racing like it's the last lap of the race every time. And at the line, the outside lane just dissipated, and now, we got mixed bags of opinions on the outside and middle lane. That'll be great for the bottom. Cabot, Weishart, Grant, and Curhan driving away. Here comes the 07 of Jarrett Talmadge. I don't even think we've mentioned him yet, but now to the outside, it's Weishart and Garrett Grant with a big run down the back.
I'll tell you, Sebastian Marin just had cosmetic surgery involuntarily because he got his nose chopped off trying to go to the middle 3 wide a lap ago. Now finds himself to the top, pushing Joe, a.k.a. Logan. Now he's looking back in the middle, but Garrett Grant and David Weishart now 3 wide. Weishart gets put in the middle in the sucker hole. He'll have to go and try to find the push there, whoever happens to be it. And that is going to be, I want to say Ben Pierce, but it's hard to say. But up front, Cabot to the bottom, Garrett Grant to the top, and Sebastian Marin. Remember, he didn't qualify as well as expected, but racing, that's where you expect him to shine.
God bless. What a move from the 63. Logan Helton, and now Garrett Grant's fallen to the back with, should say David Weishart, yes, but the moves that are being made are just so aggressive right now. Holy cow, that is tight through 3 and 4. That is Gavin Rogers and Logan Helton nearly touching doors going through turn 3 there. And Adam Cabot he's got tall match behind him. He's breathing as calm as can be because they're still duking it out behind him outside the top 5. Weishart trying to lead the line on the outside lane going into turn 1. Lots of side-by-side action and more guys getting up to that outside lane.
Seeing more and more that inside lane. Saw it at the end of the first duel, and we're seeing it here at the infancy of the second duel, that drivers are voluntarily running the third lane, running the middle, not running the bottom, but by choice. Not sure what the logic is to that. You saw it in the real world back in the day, but now going to the bottom of the track, Cabot with the push from the 36, Kwame Scott there to the inside of the racetrack. And who is that purple car making some headway to the top of the track? That's Talmadge. He had the lead for a brief moment, but up to the top was Rocky Boy to take it back away.
I'm going to quote YouTube chat really quick. Holy mother, this is a big wreck waiting to happen. I don't know that I disagree with that, to be honest, because these guys are racing hard early on, and you're watching as they come out of corners. You've got top line chopping low line chopping high. You know the spotters are screaming in the background saying, you're clear, go now, you're clear, go now. All it takes is 1 millisecond of miscalculation, a little bit of a ping, and it can make a big difference. Look there, the 7 drops down low here as we go through. Now Rocky Boyd up front trying to hold along. Still, though, no 3 wide really happening, not by choice at least, as we go along here, and these guys are just swerving through.
No 3 wide, Brad. What was that?
Meat in the sandwich. We got a meat in the sandwich here being left down the order as we go along. This is getting scary.
Well, here comes the boss, Jacob Bell, and that 6 car on the bottom as the middle lane's starting to get backed up. Jacob Bell is starting to make some headway now. He's got the 88 of Joseph Causey in front of him, trying to crack the top 10 at least, but up front, it's still Rocky Boyd up front. David Weishart, I feel like he's going up and down the escalator. He's gone outside the top 5. He's back in the top 5 now, running in the second spot. Leading on the bottom, though, Gavin Rogers in the 75 with Talmadge behind, pushing him, giving him a good shove. He's going to shove him to the lead, actually, through 3 and 4. Gavin Rogers is going to lead this lap.
Oh! There goes Rocky Boyd around, and we stay green.
And he manages to evade a pit penalty there by getting into the grass, but let's try to find what happened to Rocky there. Came across Sebastian's nose. Somebody there got their front end knocked off. We'll just get one more look at that, if we can.
Yeah, that was Adam Cabot in the Matt Livery's car that had nowhere to go, and is a bystander to the close call.
Yeah, just look at the momentum there. He went high. The momentum was there. I mean, almost peaking for a 4 wide there. See the new flaps. iRacing did implement the new restrictor plate racetrack flaps to keep these cars on the racetrack, but back to 3 wide, back to live footage. Logan Helton, and we're just going to call him Joe all season. It's a lot easier to do just that. That 63 Joe car trying to pass Gavin. Chat was asking for Gavin. Well, he's in Heat 2, Duel 2. I'll keep calling him Heats just because that's what's sitting right in front of my face. But that 75 certainly making his presence known here.
What you got to do right now is make sure you're in the mix too. And remember, just looking at things, a quick reminder of the cars that are trying to race their way in. The 75 is one of them. So you've got to keep it together here for the 75. If he can stay up front, he is looking like he's in a good position here. 75, 65, 84, 36 in the 07. Those are all of your open drivers here trying to race their way in.
Yeah, and here comes Jacob Bell pushing Joseph Causey to the lead. On the outside, that is Sebastian Marin now being pushed by Logan Helton. Side by side, drag racing through 1 and 2. The 88's in front for the time being, but the 66 car is getting a run on the outside lane, and he jumps to the third lane, actually, because I believe Jake Fisher in the 84, he jumped up going out of 2, and then they had to react, and now they're dead even for the lead into 3.
But just look at, this is what we were talking about before. These cars are swaying, they're bouncing around, and that's what happens when you're moving off your push by a foot or two here and there. That's what creates those bad pushes that get drivers turned around. We saw it a few times in the first duel. We saw it again now, splitting the gap. Jake Fisher, really no help in the middle lane. He saw the momentum. He had it. He says, I got to take it. But now he's waiting for the 07 of Jarrett to get to his rear decklet, and he does just that, trying to get to the outside of Marin. Marin and Causey rocking the bottom. They're tag team pretty well, but that outside just has a lot more.
That outside line really seeming to build momentum here, but I'm still not convinced that that is the lane to be in as they go, gosh, still just squeezing up and down as they go through and around here.
Marin, high-low.
That's a jump from Marin. I said it earlier that these guys were cutting lanes left, right, and center, and, well, Marin proving the point there.
I do want to point out as well, very quickly, sorry to cut you off, and look at the front of, well, I guess we can't because he's just so close, but if they ever do back off, there was a significant bit of damage to the front of that 83 from likely making these crazy pushes, but the draft is the best band-aid to a little bit of damage.
Absolutely right, and there's a reason why Sebastian Marin's leading the Road to Pro standings, because he can make moves like that look so easy, going from bottom to top through the middle of the corner, just blocking like that, and he can do it the other way as well, from top to bottom. Of course, the 66 car leading the way through. It's going to be back on the outside lane now. Causey with that bottom lane, pushing by Jacob Bell, Michael Curran as well. So close at the line, I don't even know who led that lap, but we're close to halfway. Garrett Grant's now all of a sudden got a run through the middle with Bryce Sinisek. We haven't talked about him yet. Marin sees that, he's going to block it. Now the 07 of Talmadge is going to lead the outside lane with Marin pushing through as the leader down the back.
Oh my goodness, they are just all over each other. The 88 was going for the lead. Bottom just absolute lost everything it had. Marin with the push from the 07 up top. Will he keep it up there, or will he go to the bottom to take it away from Garrett Grant? Bryce Sinisek, we talked to him in qualifying show about an hour ago or so it was at this point. But oh, big wiggle, top of the racetrack, the blue tip car. Can't quite make out who that was. The number 20, Orion Swan, made a beauty of a save up there.
Tons of great moves going, and now look at this. Now we go back 2 wide, and before I can finish my sentence, we bring it back 3 wide and try to have a run through the 98, trying to make a run up the middle here. That is Liam Sheen trying to sheen his way through, and now again, before I can finish the sentence, we go from 2 wide to 3 wide yet again, trying to feel a hole in the middle with Weishart, and now that number 63 is going to jump in as well, because why don't you, Logan Helton coming through? Marin's going to block, wiggle in the middle. Guys, we saw 15 laps to go. Let's hold it together for 14 and a half laps at least.
Well, not to mention, a few seconds up the road, they're going to encounter lap traffic in Rocky Boyd, and then 9 seconds in front of him, that's Adam Cabot. But leading the way through, it's Sebastian Marin in the 66. David Weishart's back in the second position. Logan Helton on the outside, moving back into second. Weishart's going to have Garrett Grant once more pushing on the bottom. On the outside, they're going to get a little coagulated, but The 66 will have Logan Helton and Talmadge pushing him down the backstretch with Liam Sheen behind, which we haven't talked much about him tonight, but he's making his presence felt as we're crossed through the halfway point of this duel.
98 of Liam Sheen to the middle. Joe Logan Helton goes top to bottom. Learned that one from Sebastian Marin there. So now Marin has a little bit of work to do as they get by the slower car, Rocky Boyd, who was just hoping for a caution, but the caution did not come out before he goes a lap down, but he still can get a free pass and get some damage fixed. But these drivers have to wreck, which I don't want to impose it, but the odds are certainly there that something may go astray in the next 13 laps. But currently David Weishart back to the lead. Talk about the next gen car. Track position on these plate tracks is difficult. You can't get it. These drivers are going all through the field, and that was the save of the night by that 63 car.
Let's catch a replay of what that 63 just did, saving it all. Look at this. This could have been the field here. Watch them as they go through. It's a bump there. Marin's there and tap to the corner, and I think a little bit of wall help, and he held it on together as we go back live pictures. And, well, he's still leading that middle line, but that top line, look at the run it's got here, Hunter.
I mean, they just absolutely pulled away from everybody. So going through the lap car, I believe that's Adam Cabot, but Marin, Sheen, Talmadge, Gavin Rogers, and Jake Fisher, everybody on that outside lane for about the first, let's say, 6 or 7 cars. And as soon as I say that, we have a new person jumping to the bottom. Trying to make out who that is. Scratch that. They just keep jumping in front of each other because the fronts just build out of nowhere. Liam Sheen now all of a sudden is going to the front with Jake Fisher and Jacob Harberts. Harberts was the first one to jump down low, and then everybody followed suit. But at the line, coming to 11 to go, Sheen by about a front fender led that lap.
I'm not sure if his car actually is unsponsored. It seems like it is because it does have the area appropriate contigs there. So looking for a sponsor on that number 98. Looking all the way to the top. I trust much more a block high-low than I trust a low-high, but it was made and we all survived for the time being. But now we have a new taker to the bottom of the racetrack, the 84 Jake Fisher. And then again, Jacob Harberts. We haven't talked about him since lap 1 when he made that aggressive move to the outside with his teammate. And no! Commentators, Curtis, is that the save of the race?
I know we haven't given a Ricky Rudd save of the race out yet, but we are going to have to give a couple out for just this duel alone. Let's dial up one more quick replay of that. Goodness gracious me, how did this one happen? Just bottleneck up, wiggle, big shove, slam, and drop down and held it together. Holy moly on a cracker.
Yeah, going down, holy moly on a cracker. Put me off guard on that one. Jake Fisher. Again, now we've kind of, never mind. I was going to say we've kind of gotten a little bit of normalcy, but never mind. Hold my drink of choice. I don't want to impose any drinks on any youths watching this race, but down to the inside goes the 80. Really has no help. That move is going to backfire quite heavily as Weishart will get to his assistance here, but will it be a little too late? I don't know. Marin right behind Liam Sheen, and you know Marin's waiting for the run, and he's going to drop and take it, but he didn't want to risk it right there. Couldn't squeeze it down.
You know, I will say, because it's 316 day, you can hold my beer because these runs are just coming out of nowhere. Guys are going top to bottom, elevator style, escalator style, whatever you want to call it. It's been amazing to watch. Sheen now going to block high on Marin, Helton in the wall, but Jacob Harberts with Weishart and Grant pushing through, and Marin's going to go in the middle. So is David Weishart trying to get a run off the fourth turn. Jacob Bell has now cracked the top 5 for the first time tonight.
We got to mention that the boss is in the top 5. Got to make sure that we keep that exclusivity agreement that we got going forward here. Let's see what the boss man can do. For the last time Jacob Bell won a race.
Is there a boss man provisional, or does he actually have to race in like the boys?
I believe he's on a team, so he's on Swan Motorsports, so he doesn't have to worry about racing his way in.
So Jacob Bell
wouldn't it be cool if he won?
I mean, it would be. I mean, we don't see a lot of league owners win races. I mean, typically they're not, and I say this in the nicest way possible, league owners in our history haven't been the fastest drivers, but Jacob Bell trying to go against that trend here, and make something happen, but he's got some serious competition. And again, I think David Weishart, boys, has the passing award of the race. I feel as though he has gone 10th to first repeatedly here, and he may be doing it again. Zach Carr, first time that 27 car has got a whiff of the front of the pack here, as Senesac in the 09 nearly came down into the 83 of Brown there, but luckily some space to be had. And you know Marin, he's just cooking, waiting for the chance, and I think he's scared Carr to the bottom.
He scared me, that's for sure.
This is absurd. I don't even... Who's the 36? Kwame Scott. We haven't talked about Kwame Scott yet. He's inside the top 5. He just had a great save. He's pushing the 66 of Marin on that middle lane. But on the bottom, trying to corral it, it's Zach Carr. I don't think he's going to lead this lap, although he can prove me wrong. Nope, he proved me right. Sebastian Marin will lead that lap. And just like that, boys, we're already on 6 to go, Brad.
Look at who's leading that, who was leading that middle line was 609 Motorsports 67 of Connor Horn, and now he gets swallowed up into the middle of the pack as cars drop down in front of him. That's David Weishart, who said, no, I'll take the middle lane to myself, Connor. Don't you worry about it here. We'll go through and hang out and along as we look at this 6 laps to go, 9 leaders, 13 lead changes, and no cautions yet here in duel number 2. Duel number 1, that was not the story, and with the aggressiveness of duel number 2, I don't know how they've kept it at 0 cautions so far, guys. As we'll come across the line, 5 to go, Corey. Make the prediction now. Who wins it?
I ain't dumb enough to make a prediction here, but if I had to put some odds on it, I'm going with the 66, but he's just shown that he is not afraid to make the moves, and he will go high-low. He will almost scare people into different lanes. He just seems to have something there, but Connor Horn, forget the trend, the 67 car, where did he come from? Finds himself up front, but unfortunately, 5 laps at Daytona may as well be 5 laps at the Nordschleife with how long it takes in relative terms.
It's a good way to put it into perspective, but it's a drag race now for the first 2 rows. And the 88 car of Joseph Causey's jumped to the outside lane, and just like that, so has the 66 of Sebastian Marin, although the middle lane now up for grabs. Talmadge's going to lead that through, and Connor Horn just jumps up, says he'll lead it through. Marin says, you know what, I'll lead the race.
Who is that doing swerving back there in the back?
That is, I want to say...
Oh, that's Rocky. As long as he
well,
doesn't spin out doing that, because he was slaloming there. I was worried he'd lose control and elephant on a skateboard it, but luckily not. But I'll say what I always say. Remember, we got a race to the white flag, and we had our caution to put ourselves into overtime for duel number 1. Will that be replicated? We've had a couple scares. We've had a couple amazing saves, some single car incidents, but we've stayed clean and green through all of this utter chaos of racing. Can we finish 2 more laps to ensure a green flag finish?
Keep it together here, guys. 2 laps to go, going into turn 1, led by Sebastian Marin, and then David Weishart following through. We haven't talked about Kwame Scott a lot, but Kwame Scott there leading the middle lane, and that bottom line being led there by Joseph Causey as they go through into 1 and 2. This is where you got to start picking your moves now. You got to find a way through, and that's the shop area car with a wiggle there in the background there. That is Grant going through and around. Top line, keep it a run. Is this going to stay green going into 3?
Oh, for now it is. They'll be coming to 2 to go at the stripe. Weishart thought about making a move. He will. He's trying to bring the 09 Senesac with him. He's not clear. He's going to have to stay in the middle and push that 66 of Marin. Meanwhile, Liam Sheen on the outside with Reese Schaefer going to lead through. Marin will lead the lap. 2 laps to go in the second duel. Prelude to the area 500. Liam Sheen giving a nice shot from Schaefer. The top 2 clear. They could go whatever lane they want to through 1 and 2. And Sheen trying to go to the lead, and he will.
This is the money lap, because remember, if we get to the white, we will get to the checkers, regardless of how many may be upside down or in the wrong direction. But Liam Sheen has the lead right now. Sebastian Marin in second. Bryce Senesac on the inside lane. David Weishart trying to make one of those fantastic comeback charges, but that inside not getting anywhere, boys. I think we're going to get to that white cleanly.
Going out of 4 here, white flag out from Barney will come through. Will this be the final lap? White flag out. It's a caution-free run in the duels, and it's one more time around Daytona International Speedway to set the grid for the Area 500. Breaks out to the inside, therefore the 36 trying to find a run there with the 67 behind. Can they make that inside line work? Up front, Marin's defending down the backstretch here.
Oh,
Half a
no,
lap to go.
Kwame
There's
Scott.
the start of the spins.
Kwame Scott, single
Kwame
car.
just got dumped. He just got dumped, and Sheen is leading his way through 3. Marin coming through on the outside. He's going to go to the bottom right in front of Senesac. They're spinning behind Senesac with a bump to Marin. He's going to get clear, and Marin's going to have to block off of 4.
Oh, no, Marin goes
big wreck up
around.
front.
And now Liam Sheen, he's going to get the free pass to the win. Liam Sheen gets himself the dual win. And the chaos ensued, and how will that translate into who qualifies for the Area 500?
Well, there's the popcorn. We were waiting for the popcorn to come out. There's the popcorn. And look at the hit from the 07.
Yeah, this 09 of Senesac there, and
Oh my gosh, he levitated off the ground.
we'll get a look at that. I didn't see that because I was administering a lot of other things, but we'll get a view of that. Obviously, the 07 may have had a life-altering impact here. Yes, he did.
Wow.
So, boys, that is going to wrap up our duels here today, and Liam Sheen will get it. And let's see how many laps he had led. It could not have been many. 4. That's actually more than I thought he would have led. So for the sake of just the way iRacing is set up, it is going to constitute us having a feature right now, which we're not having. We've obviously finished things. Our graphics package is not going to let us go and give heat results. So we will just kind of leave things open, and if anybody wants to come in and have their words about how their race has been, I guess the opportunity for open mic is availed.
I'll let you go, Brad.
This was wild. I mean, what an actual run here this was. Taking a look here at drivers as they go through, and just trying to see who's going to be through where. So I'm waiting to see officially where the open drivers are as they go. So we've got the results in, and we're waiting to formulate in the final calculations.
Well, Liam Sheen is here, so while we're waiting for the back end from who's making it and who's not, Liam, you got the trophy there for the Heat 2 for the second duel, Mylanta. That was 30 laps green flag, and that was chaos start to finish. How do you process what that race just entailed?
I don't know. I have been off the game for forever, so I have no idea how this package races or whatever, so I was kind of figuring it out as I went, but no, I guess Unk still got it, I guess. I'm just kind of surprised at how that all unfolded. I mean, Seabass was controlling the race pretty good there. I tried to take control away from him, and I think I did pretty decently on the white flag. I just didn't know what to do when I had the lead there. But yeah, I guess C's parted, so better to be lucky than good sometimes. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we saw those elevator moves top to bottom. We saw the reverse elevator bottom to top. I mean, I didn't know the next gen raced like that. I mean, that's, I guess, good for next week, but how much of this can you translate into the 500 next week?
I mean, any experience is good experience. Like, as I said, I mean, I've not been on the game too much lately, so it's pretty cool to start the season off with a win, I guess. Especially in a competitive field. I mean, there's not too many oval leagues on here, so yeah, it's cool to see area continue to keep it going, and yeah, hopefully I can do the same thing next week.
All right, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Shout out Nexus Esports. I know John and Pat paid a ton for the charters, so shout out them. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, boss.
Playing car.
All right, well, maybe it'll have something on it for next week, man, but congrats, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thanks.
All right, I'm sure one of you has some fancy knowledge to give to our fans before we wrap today's show up.
I've got the open finishing results combined, so I can confirm our 7 drivers that we're taking for the Area 500, if anyone would be so interested.
Oh, do tell. I am so interested.
Is this, so these are the drivers transferring in?
Yep, these are our transfer drivers. Are we ready?
Can we pause? Because I'm going to... Oh, I can't. That's too much to count. Yeah, just talk. I was going to try to type it in on the fly, but I can't type that fast.
Okay. So, drum roll, ladies and gentlemen. The first car that will transfer in is the number 51, the reserve driver for LVV Racing, Frankie Barroso. So the number 51 is in. The number 84 will be the next car transferring in. That is going to be, if I can reference my entry sheet fast enough to tell you who the 84 was, that is Jake Fisher, the reserve driver for 609 Motorsports. The number 11 will be transferring in. That is going to be Philip Groner, the reserve in Solar Flare Racing. The number 75 will be transferring in. That is Gavin Rogers, who is transferring in. We have the number 31. We have Zach Nerney, the rookie, transferring in. I got a little bit of pride on that one, I'm not going to lie. And then we have the 55 who is transferring in. That is Christian DeBoer, the reserve with Swan Motorsports, transferring in. And the last car transferring in will be the number 36 of Kwame Scott, the reserve with Berg Arts Motorsports. That is your 7 open cars that are transferring to the Area 500 next week.
So that means the heartbreak story, if you've been watching this stream since the beginning, Timmy Pacioli, first out in qualifying, was on the pole for probably the first 35 to 38 drivers, and he does not make the big show. Man,
Wow.
no refunds on any of those, on any donations done. Those are set.
Well, I mean,
jokes aside,
it's not just for this race. I mean, they can always come back for the next race after that, but they're just listed as an open car. But it's the biggest spectacle that area's got to kick off the season, the Area 500. Everybody wants to be a part of it. They want to have a shot. The big prize pool, the legacy that goes with winning one Area 500, let alone 2, like Travis Beckner has done in the past. So we'll have to see next Monday, whenever that comes, if he can make it a 3-time or if we could get a new winner. We had the closest finish ever last season by 1/1000th of a second. I don't know if we could get any closer, Corey, but we can go into the 10,000ths of a second, so it's still possible.
Yeah, I mean, we had the All-Star race for area be a flat tie, and I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. So again, here on PTR TV, help us get to that pinnacle number of 2,000 subscribers. If you have not already done so, we appreciate hitting that button for us. A lot of new fans. This will be your exclusive home of area in 2026. And again, stay tuned for the big show next week, the Area 500. Same time, same place, right here on PTR TV for that very, very important race that everybody drove their butts off to get into. We will also be live tomorrow night here on PTR TV with some ARCA action. And then post that, we will have some cup action here with our Triple Bypass Racing League. And then Monday, right back here. Stay tuned for the big show. Any final words before we wrap this up, boys? Or do we have any final alerts to put on through?
Standby list. Drivers who are on standby to run through: Nico Servideo, Jeremy Talmage, Timmy Pacioli, Brett Puncari. I can't wait. We got a week. This is going to be a wild season of area.
I'm so looking forward to it. It'll be my first season as well as a team owner on the truck side of things, so I'm really looking forward to Tuesdays more than any other day in the week. No offense to Thursdays, but or Mondays in that matter. But unreal night of racing for just 30 laps, so 60 laps total. We'll have 100 laps next Monday to determine, at bare minimum. We could have some overtimes, but you get the picture. We'll have the Area 500 determined next Monday night here on PTR TV. Make sure you guys tune into that. Corey, it's been a blast tonight. Looking forward to Season 8.
Absolutely. What a way to start things off, and what a way to bring in 2026, and can't wait for what comes in this upcoming campaign. But that's going to be Corey, Brad, and Hunter signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next week.
See you.